Kennedy Japon, who is one of the contenders for MPP flag bearership, outspoken MP for Asin Central, flag bearer aspirant of the MPP, Kennedy Japon, has slammed the EC over its decision to use the Ghana card as a sole document for registration of the 2024 general elections. The new CI seeks to see the elimination of the guarantor system for all first-time registrants to the country's electoral register. But the MP in a media interview on a local radio station, Sompa FM in Kumasi, indicated that the new CI laid in Parliament by the EC is bogus. He maintains that it makes no sense that the Ghana card will suddenly be raised above the Ghana passport in determined identity of citizens. Now, the reason I'm highlighting this is not because it serves my interest, but there's a very the majority in Parliament is very thin. So for an influential, and he's the head of the Interior and Defence Committee of Parliament, right? Now, if you look at Kennedy Japon and some of the travails he's had with the Privileges Committee and a number of MPs in Parliament who supported him, so his position will put this CI in real jeopardy, because if his position is the position of other MPs from his side, then this CI will suffer. So keep on this story. Now, the other story within this area is that Professor Jampo and NIA have been in a running battle of words.
Okay.
So political science lecturer, University of Ghana, Professor Jampo, has vowed not to allow the top hierarchy of the EC and of the NIA to plunge the country into chaos with the issues that have characterized the production of the Ghana card. The NIA, in a statement, called the bluff of the political science lecturer after it criticized his works. In a counter statement, Professor Jampo warned, "You guys can tickle yourselves and laugh just in the quest to protect your jobs, but some of us will allow you to plunge Ghana into chaos and flee the country with your diplomatic service passports." And then this is really in relation to that. So he has said in an earlier post, in an interview, that there was mistrust between the NIA and the NDC. The NIA issued a statement debunking that, saying they've been working with the NDC and they don't have any mistrust. And Professor Jampo has responded to the statement, which he says that the NIA responses are shrouded in half-truths, and also basically saying that the NIA should not plunge the country into chaos, and that they should probably engage the parties on this issue. So we'll see how.
All right, let me give you two quick stories from the political side of things. Professor Frimpong Boateng, speaking on page 3 of the Republic Press, he has intimated that the allegations of some 500 missing excavators seized from persons engaged in illegal mining activities in 2021 true, and made up stories by some persons in government to tarnish his reputation in order to chase him out of office. He was speaking on Sompa FM in Kumasi. And he further stressed that there was an orchestration within the party and the government to get me out. And when I left, Galamsey activities increased. Now things are coming up, and we know those who are doing Galamsey even within the party and even at the Jubilee House.
So what will we do with this? Should special prosecutor invite him for more information? I think we should not let such high-profile interviews go wasted. Where a former minister has come out to say, and don't forget, special prosecutor interviewed investigated people on Galamsey.
Yeah.
So if a former minister has come out to say that people in government and his party are trying to frustrate a fight, maybe we should invite him, the special prosecutor, to answer some questions so he can give us some leads. I mean, let's not make it look like people can just say anything and then we just let it go like that. It's a full professor.
Full senior minister.
So he's basically saying there are people in government and in the party who are supporting Galamsey, and they kicked him out. We don't know whether they use legitimate means or not. Now let's come to agric.
I'll get to agric.
Okay, education
is doing something on education.
Yes. So the education minister, this is on page 10 of the Ghanaian Observer. Now he has challenged the Conference of Heads of Assisted Secondary Schools and Principals of TVET institutions to improve their educational outcomes or stand the risk of having their institutions closed down. He explained that a school with a consistent 0 to 10% pass rate should put together intervention programs to ensure that majority of their students will find opportunities for further studies rather than becoming a liability to their parents and society due to their inability to pass their exams. He explained that closing the schools down would help save the nation huge financial losses being incurred by the government as a result of the existence of these schools.
All right, so let's come to
agric. The former agric minister.
It's actually politics, not agric.
Yes, is speaking on Ghana's economy today. I think he's launching his presidential bid today. That is what it is.
All right.
And it's titled "The Future of the Economy of Ghana."
All right.
It's happening at the UPSA at 2 p.m. today. It says the lecture will shed more light on the success story of the Planting for Food and Jobs and other initiatives Dr. Akutu executed as political head of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture. He's also going to throw more light on the potential therein and what he brings if
Well, a lot of people are doing campaign. Kwamna before too says he will revive toy if elected. This story is on my journal online. So the former finance minister, former governor of the Bank of Ghana, who's an NDC flag bearer hopeful, has said he will prioritize the restoration of Tamale refinery to fully operating capacity if elected as flag bearer and subsequently president of Ghana. He's a former finance minister as well. BNFT has a story on Agric that the man who just left that ministry to run for president should be worried about. Ghana loses over $16 million to post-food harvest. This is the Danish embassy telling us. The Denmark ambassador to Ghana, Tom Noring, is calling for stronger partnership between Denmark and Ghanaian businesses to find feasible solutions to food wastage in the country. He says Ghana loses about 50% of its food harvest to wastage. This development, he believes, can be mitigated if players in the agricultural value chain consider the gaps in the surpluses as investment opportunities. He was speaking at a food security seminar organized by the Danish embassy in Ghana and disclosed that Ghana loses about $16 million to post-harvest losses for some selected crops. And he actually, this is serious though.
Does he name some of the crops?
Yeah, he spoke about grains. He spoke about, he sort of gave general categories. He mentioned specific food items. Charlie, this is serious.
All right. Let me wrap up internationally with one story.
Yeah, he actually mentioned mango, yam, plantain, garden eggs, tomatoes. And only these 5. We lose $16 million.
Okay.
Multiply that by 12.
Let me wrap up quickly. The BBC has been in the news all weekend, and that's on page 9 of the Daily Graphic. The DG of BBC, Tim Davies, says it has been a difficult day for the corporation after much of the day staff walkouts led to the program going ahead with no commentary and without pundits. Presenters and commentators walked out in support of Gary Lineker, who was suspended from the show after taking to Twitter to criticize the government's controversial asylum policy. Yeah,
Gary Lineker, that's a very interesting discussion. If we have time, we'll talk about it. The big story globally in the US is that Silicon Valley Bank is collapsing, and the fallouts are huge for a lot of startups in the technology space. And the trouble with this bank is that in fact, this bank is Forbes 2023 America's best bank, among America's best banks. And basically, this is affecting other technology stocks. And the fallout could mean that a lot of companies in Ghana, even that depend on the startup ecosystem in the US, would suffer. So you give us more during Tech and Social Media Trends.
You know, Papa see that? And it's rickety car. Hey, Papa!
Bobo, so how your engine now?
It is half man, half amazing. Thanks to Quartz and you. Can't feel better energy. Can't touch this. Actually, guys, so Sancho's engine just died like that.
Yes, so
somebody managed to convince him that there is a better engine oil than Quartz, and he switched. Sancho Panza.
Now, which engine oil can be better than Quartz?
No other, my guy. Quartz with its age-resistant technology, it keeps your engine younger for longer.
Now you know. Have you guys seen the new bottle design?
It's superb.
Quartz 9000 from Total Energies there improves fuel efficiency.
Why do you think Mr. Mane and Logoso have taken the Quartz Nation movement World Cup like that? Sorry.
Quartz. Keep your engine younger for longer.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's 7:07. City Business News coming up shortly with Netele Netea Jaho. And it's brought to you by Go, your OMC of choice. We keep making life ever so convenient. We now accept Momo for all fuel purchases. Remember to Momo it at Goil. You can also use your bank card, that is all bank cards, to buy fuel at Goil. Drive to your nearest Goil station, buy your fuel and pay with Momo, bank card or Go card. Visit any of our social media platforms for more information. Goil, good energy. Welcoming Netele with the breakfast edition of City Business News. Good morning.
Good morning, Bernard, and welcome to the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. Coming up, economist Courage Buti urges government to put in place measures to ensure rates for T-bills go down further, and government and the Chamber of Agribusiness calls for more investment in the seed sector. To our stories now, and stakeholders within the financial sector are anticipating further decreases in Treasury bill rates in the coming weeks, despite the current macroeconomic situation the country is facing. Government last week re-auctioned Treasury bills for the week at 24.6%. Prior to the rates crashing to this, the benchmark rates were trending in the mid-30%. Courage Boti is an economist and has been speaking to Citi Business News on the issue.
So I think they are integrated something, but it is not a result you see sharply in a day. It will be gradual. For now, the only component in that GRL formula that has declined is the T-bill rate. There is also the policy rate, and then there is the cash enrolled requirement and a number of other variables in there that need to the same line for you to see very drastic reduction in the lending rate or the GRL that these banks would have going forward. So it's a beginning of a positive trend that hopefully can extend and even come much lower than expected. Maybe the silver lining, the good thing with this whole DDP is that we might have at the end of it rates reset at a level that is desirable for our economy. Because all this while we have complained about rates through some mishappenings. We've had bond rates reset to a maximum of 10% for these exchange bonds, and then T-bill rates would have to take a cue from there. Now, when that happens, you expect naturally that T-bill rates will come into the single digits. It's a trend that should continue until I believe the market rates are properly aligned, where you have.
That was economist Courage Boti. The Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana is urging investors in the agriculture value chain to leverage on the investment opportunities that exist in the seed cultivation sector to spur the growth of the industry. Although the Chamber laments the instances of importation of seeds into the country, it maintains that the economic viability of the sector can be activated to rake in more revenue for players. These comments were made by the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana, Anthony Morrison, at a business networking forum in Accra.
Let me say that Ghana imports about 90% of the seed we use for vegetable production. And our seed industry is one of the most vibrant ones. But lately, due to delayed payment for indigenous seed producers and seed multipliers. So you need a seed breeder to breed the seed. So if you go to West Africa Center for Crop Improvement, you see experts who have been trained in seed breeding. These are the scientists. So you need the seed scientists who will give you hybrid seed. Then you give it to the business people. The business people now multiply the seed and now sell it as a seed to the farmers. The farmers now produces your food. There is enormous potential. Most of the seeds we use for grains and cereals. Luckily for us, Agra, we have rice seed called Agra, which is being used predominantly in the north. Then we have jasmine, which is used primarily in the south. So there has been a number of something done when it comes to. So that sector also promises to be an area where we can invest in.
Anthony Morrison is the Chief Executive of the Chamber of Agribusiness Ghana. Plans are far advanced to pay compensation to over 200 poultry farmers affected by the bird flu outbreak last year. As part of measures to curb the disease from spreading, the Ministry of Food and Agriculture and the Veterinary Services Department are mandated to kill and properly dispose of infected birds. A total of about 20 million Ghana cedis was released by government in compensation to poultry farmers affected by the avian influenza outbreak in 2021. In an interview with Citi Business News, Greater Accra Regional Director of the Veterinary Service, Dr. Joseph Abu, gave a regional breakdown of the beneficiary farmers.
Because we don't have a standard or checklist, the government is paying wholesale compensation to farmers, and it is having drain on the economy. Though we are not in normal times, we are in difficulty, but the government is poised in paying compensation. The outbreaks from 2015 to 2021 has been paid already. We are now left with the bird flu outbreak in 2022, and plans are far ahead to pay the compensation as soon as possible.
Do you have an idea of how many beneficiaries there are to this next payment?
Next payment, yes. The numbers in Greater Accra, we have about 132 in Greater Accra, but 14 in the Western region, 6 in Central region, 14 in the Greater Kumasi, and Volta region, we have also close to 14, 1 in the Upper West, and similarly Northeast, we have 1 and 4 in the Upper East region.
Dr. Joseph Abu is the Greater Accra Regional Director of the Veterinary Service. Economist Professor John Gachi is calling on governments to make public whatever deal it concludes with the Chinese government to cancel Ghana's debt. Government is pleading with the Chinese to forfeit the $1.9 billion debt owed by Ghana to help overcome current macroeconomic challenges. Speaking to Citi Business News on the issue, Professor John Gachi says it is unlikely that China will cancel the country's debts without demanding anything in return. Therefore, governments must disclose whatever deals it comes up with China.
Everything about the debt assessment program should be public because debt is procured through parliamentary approval. And if we have any adjustment to do with the debt and our obligation to our creditors, that becomes a new agreement, must become part of documents that should be known to Parliament and, for that matter, the people of Ghana. We cannot treat debt exchange program in secret. The finance minister, the president are managing the economy on behalf of the people of Ghana. And they cannot take these far-reaching decisions without making it known to the people of Ghana. And I believe that is the reason why the president met the press to indicate that there is some cordial discussion going on with China. So in the same vein, whatever we reach with the discussion should be made known to Ghana.
You heard economist Professor John Gachi. Dreamoval, a fintech company in partnership with Star Assurance, has launched the Cori Merchant Platform to meet the demands of clients and customers. The new merchant platform, which promises to offer free insurance cover, Christian Cori Protect, is underwritten by Star Assurance. In a media interaction on the sidelines of a business networking soiree, Chief Executive Officer of Dreamoval Limited, Claude Hatchful, explained that the new platform seeks to transform the financial ecosystem and bring additional value to customers.
Dreamoval Limited is a licensed fintech by Bank of Ghana, and we have outlawed our app Cori. Cori is an app that seeks to digitize access to financial services. Today, we're partnering with Star Assurance to provide insurance products on our platform for consumers and businesses. Cori enables businesses to process payments, so we can process payments with mobile money, card, and we give you one portal where you can view all your transactions that are coming through. Now, as part of our support to our businesses, we are offering them commercial insurance packages like against flood, against fire, and so on and so forth when you become a customer of ours, right? So you just have to sign up with us so we process payments for you, and that comes with free insurance coverage for your business. This is very important to us because we believe that, it's the small businesses that drive the economy. And on our mobile app, you can download on the App Store and the Play Store. It's Cori, Kowri.
That was the Chief Executive Officer of Dreamoval Limited, Claude Kweku Hatchful. Now on the interbank foreign exchange markets, where banks trade amongst themselves, the dollar remained unchanged and is selling at 11 cedis 2 pesos. The British pound gained 1 peso and is selling at 13 cedis 3 pesos. The euro gained 2 pesos and is selling at 11 cedis 8 pesos. However, at some forex bureaus in the capital, the dollar is going for 12 cedis 80 pesos. The British pound is selling for 14 cedis 80 pesos and the euro for 13 cedis. Let's now join Mark Jordan Sikanati of DataBank for updates on the stock market.
4 price movers were registered on the BERS last week. Total Energies gained 21% week on week to an 8-year high of 6 cedis 5 pesos, while MTN Ghana advanced 7.53% week on week to a 10-month high of 1 Ghana cedi. Cowbank and Gold PLC emerged as laggards, losing 1 peso each to 50 pesos and 1 cedi 64 pesos respectively. Market turnover dropped 75.68% week on week to 3.5 million Ghana cedis from the sale of 3.4 million shares. The GSE Composite Index advanced 3.88% week on week to 2,479.53 points, bringing the year-to-date return to 1.46%, while the Data Bank Stock Index climbed 2.73% week on week to 101.3 points, with a year-to-date return of negative 3.28%. We anticipate a price decline in Gold PLC this week due to excess supply of the stock on the market.
That was Mark Jordan Sika Nate of Databank. And that does it for the breakfast edition of City Business News, proudly brought to you by MTN, Goil, and powered by your most comprehensive business news website, citybusinessnews.com. My name is Neteli Neti Ajaho. Have a good business day.
I nearly gave up on driving out of frustration. What hadn't I done? Purging, replacing electrical parts, changing my fuel pump, and still the engine noise in my car won't stop. Then I met this guy who said I should try Coil.
Justice. Not only did he ask the police to arrest the people, he shamed them in open court and fined them. We pray for his soul. We pray for judges like this. We need more people like this in the country. These are the people we should be honoring. These are the people we should be talking about and emulating. Not people who make who use what's the name? Who use the power of their influence to corrupt the way justice is delivered. So that's a good one. Second good one, the Ghana Health Service has taken delivery of vaccines. We don't have the full quantity yet, but it's great development following last week's criticisms. Dr. Kuma Baji and his people have made good their promise. And I believe the Ministry of Health also ought to be commended for the timely nature in which this has been responded to. And the key message is no panic, don't rush. There's enough for everybody. We'll be following up on that for you as well. And then the police statement on Ashaiman, in my view, and you may disagree with me, but I think the police have shamed the military seriously, because if you look at the level of detail of the statement they sent, the thoroughness in which they did their investigation, and the professional manner in which they have acquitted themselves, you can only wonder. The so-called intelligence-led operation of the military in Ashaiman, what has it yielded? The people who have been arrested, where are they? Were they handed over to the police? Because the police have arrested their own people, and they've given you all the details of what they've done. Now, we criticize the police a lot in Ghana, but I feel this morning we need to commend them and then ask the army to learn from the police. This is how you do it. That's why the police are the people who deal with civil crime. The army is not trained to go and find killers in communities. We'll deal with that as well. Kickoff is next. Is brought to us by Shell. Shell Fuel Saves Triple Action Formula improves engine efficiency, prevents deposit buildup, and protects your engine from wear and corrosion for extra clean, extra protection, and extra savings, giving you extra kilometers out of your drive. Switch to Shell Fuel Save today because extra kilometers go a long way. And if you're looking for a new school bus for your school, talk to us at Lesheho. We have a competitive school bus loan with convenient payment terms for you to get on right now. Call 057-411-7851. Let's do this together. Lesheho, let's improve life. Benjamin, this sports business.
Yeah, brought back down to earth.
Charlie. Oh, you beat Man U 7-0. Then you lose 1-0 too.
Let's go and focus on our other sports like that. Let's get into the headlines. And GFA defend decision to merge President's Cup with the Ghana Premier League. Arsenal remain top of the Premier League with 5 points ahead of Manchester City. And in the NBA, there were wins for the Sixers and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Let's get to the details now. And General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harrison Addo, has defended the decision to merge Hearts and Kotoko's league match with the 2023 President's Cup. GFA and Galka were heavily criticized for the arrangement that made the official league match a ceremonial game as the Phobians won by 1-0. Here's Harrison Addo's clarification on their decision.
This has been a World Cup year, so we don't have the full season.
Yeah.
World Cup took part of the season. Yeah. Another thing that took part of the season that we seem to have forgotten is the injunction placed on the league.
Ash Golden.
So it took the time away. So now if you look at our calendar, everything is occupied till June when we have to give our winners to CAF. Yes. So that's why the circumstances, that is what determined it. If we didn't go to a World Cup and we didn't have the injunction, we'd have a lot of space. So next year, there will be a lot of space. A space will be left for the ceremonial matches.
You heard General Secretary of the Ghana Football Association, Prosper Harrison Addo, speaking there. Let's get to match week 21 of the Ghana Premier League. The Bibiani Gold Stars, they were up against Accra Hearts of Oak. Accra Hearts of Oak needed some heroics to pick up a point in that particular game. Assistant coach of Hearts of Oak, David Oklu, was impressed with the character of his team.
I was expecting a win, but it's unfortunate we couldn't get a win. By a draw, thank God. We started with a 4-2-3-1 in the first half, but we couldn't contain them in the middle. So during recess, I have to adjust and change to 4-4-2 diamond. So you could see that the second half when we came, we dominated play and my boys were moving well. We had a clear penalty, but I don't want to talk about that. But the referee denied us. You see, this is a character of a good team. Okay, we went a goal down and we came back, fought and got a draw. I'm impressed and kudos to the boys.
Assistant coach of Accra Hearts of Oak, David Oklu, speaking there. Now, Bibiani Gold Stars head coach Michael Osei was disappointed with the result.
Yeah, very disappointed. But that's football for you. I mean, it was a game that we deserved the 3 points, but sometimes it happens like that. We were very organized. We were leading 1-0. We controlled the game. I mean, the opponent wouldn't get any opportunities, but very unfortunate that we conceded that last minute goal with a lack of concentration, because this is the last minute. We need to focus. We need to be disciplined. I mean, and defend that goal. But it has happened. There's nothing that we can do. We need to learn something from it and then make sure it won't happen next time.
Gideon Gold Stars head coach Michael Osei speaking there. To some other results, Indiana Stars beat Mediama by 1-0. Brecum Chelsea also recorded a lone goal victory over Legon Cities, while Great Olympics were held to a goalless draw by Samatex. Karela played out a 1-0 win over Ashaiman. Kotoku Royals also were big winners over Bechem United, winning 3-1. And then the Tamale derby ended goalless between RTU and Tamale City. Now today there's Accra Lions versus Dreams FC. Asante Kotoko versus Kim Faisal has been postponed. If you get to the league table, Aduana Stars still top the table, 39 points. Accra Lions second on 34 points. Bechem United are third on 33 points. And then you have Accra Hartefolk, who are in fourth place, also on 32 points. Let's now get to the Premier League and let's catch up with results from the game week. Arsenal were up at Craven Cottage when they beat Fulham by 3-0. Let's hear from Arsenal manager Mikel Arteta on his team's win.
But really happy with the performance, obviously winning 3-0 away from home, keeping the clean sheet, and with the chances and the goals that we scored, I think, big compliment to the team because we deserve to win. We played really well.
We'll come to the clean sheet in a moment, but those 2 goals in the first 25 minutes really set the tone, didn't they? No more than you deserved.
Yes, and we got a goal disallowed, and psychologically you have to overcome that. We kept trying, we kept playing, we find the right spaces against a really well-organized team, and overall, really happy.
Arsenal head coach Mikel Arteta speaking there. Man United were held to a goalless draw at Old Trafford by Southampton Football Club, a game in which Brazilian midfielder Casemiro was sent off in the first half of the match. Now, Man United manager Erik ten Hag says the officials made an impact on the result.
Big compliment on the team. Showed again big character. When you are a long time with 10 against 11, we played on Thursday. So once again, the team is fit, physical, mentally. So great performance from our lads, and we could have won this game. Casemiro played over 500 games in Europe. He never had one time a red card. And now, what is it, in 4 or 5 games? And in 20 games in the Premier League, he have a red card. So the deal is that this game was influenced by the referee.
So you still agree at this stage that it probably wasn't a red card? Is that what you're trying to say?
No, what I said, and that is the refereeing is influencing this game. And we talk about 2 issues.
Man United manager Erik ten Hag not holding back there. Let's get to some other results. Crystal Palace were at Selhurst Park when they lost to Manchester City by 1-0. Here is Manchester City Erling Haaland speaking after the match.
It's not easy. Every single game is easy. You saw Bournemouth today beat Liverpool, and every single game is a fight, and you saw that today as well. It's a fight, and we win, and I'm really happy. Of course, everyone know how important this win is for us, and we have to keep going. I say this every time, but it's the truth.
So you had Manchester City striker Erling Haaland speaking there. Leicester City were also at the King Power when they lost by 3-1 to Chelsea Football Club. Graham Potter, who is Chelsea head coach, has praised the growing spirit in the Chelsea squad over the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, it was, like I said, at times, Zhao's goal that was disallowed was a fantastic move, apart from the last bit, the offsides. So we had really good moments of play. I think you need that. And we still had the resilience to defend as a team and play as a team. But that quality, because the players have got the quality, it's on us to help us as a team improve and as a team attack well. If we do that, then I think the players will score and we'll get goals.
And then to the shocking result of the round, AFC Bournemouth at home, stunning Liverpool by beating them 1-0. Jurgen Klopp summarised Liverpool's 1-0 defeat to Bournemouth and says that Liverpool are having too many setbacks this season.
The game was pretty much the opposite of what we wanted to show and to do today. So I think we played for pretty much 95 minutes the game Bournemouth wanted to play, and a few minutes, maybe in few moments, we did the stuff we wanted to do actually. We lost the game, and very, very, very frustrating. Setbacks are setbacks, but we are in the situation we are because of the setbacks. That's how it is. And we are in the situation we are because of the good performances as well. So we didn't have only setbacks, but we had too many. That's clear. Today was a proper one. We have to make sure we recover properly because on Wednesday we have obviously a big game as well.
You had Liverpool boss Jurgen Klopp speaking there. Let's finish off with some basketball from the NBA. And the New York Knicks, they had too much for the Los Angeles Lakers when they visited them at their home court. The Cleveland Cavaliers also beat the Hornets. The Sixers were winners against the Wizards. And then the OKC Thunder were also big winners when they took on the San Antonio Spurs. That's all for this morning's edition of Kickoff. My name is Benjamin Nketia. There's more sport at citysportsonline.com.
Trust the process. The biggest things often start small. No matter where you are now, the most important decision you will make today is knowing where you'll be tomorrow. All you have to do is take the next step, believe in your journey, and go with passion. Because when you go with passion, you go big. You explore the possibilities. You create the tomorrow of your dreams. So come along and let's go big with our passion. Apply for a loan now and power your ambitions. Get plugged in. Let's go big. Powered by Lesieho.
Extra, extra, let me tell you all about it.
Hey, Dolomistic. You and this your extra thing. Abeg, tell me about it.
Abenquine, look, extra is what you and your car get when you switch to Shell Fuel Save. Extra protection, extra clean, and extra savings. You get it?
And no, tell me extra.
Shell Fuel Save is designed to improve engine efficiency instantly and with triple action formula that helps protect your engine from wear, corrosion, and deposits. So you get extra kilometers out of your drive.
Sir, and you're not extra, good for your engine. Extra, good for your pocket.
Extra kilometers goes a long way. Switch to Shell Fuel Save today. Go well.
Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
Are you looking for a property to buy, rent, or invest in a prime area? You can own one of the limited 3-bedroom apartments in Sakumono Estates, Funny.
that a part of your precious hair has been cut off. It's even more frustrating when you've been patiently growing your strands to get in on the latest fashion trend. Introducing the iVest account from Easyway Savings and Loans. iVest is a fixed-term investment account that delivers great returns on your investment over a short period of time with no haircut. Open an iVest account today with a minimum of 5,000 cedis and watch your money grow. What are you waiting for? Call Easyway Savings and Loans on 0550-144-144 or visit easyway.com.gh for more information. iVest, no haircut. This is so funny. iVest, excellent returns guaranteed.
iVest, Afro Coutinho.
Yeah. I like that. Yeah.
Anyway, you can, and if you are a fan of food, we all like food, right? And you like your protein and everything. Akoko Tasty is here, brought to us by La Bianca. Now, Akoko Tasty is fresh, frozen chicken and comes in fresh portions. Chicken breast, thighs, wings, backs, and gizzards, Bernard's favorite.
Yeah, man.
And La Bianca is the sole distributor of Akoko Tasty. They are in Tema, on the New Town Road, on the Fishing Harbour area, opposite the NIB.
Give us the phone number.
0505 431 111. So, Bernard, you can call them for a lifetime supply of gizzard. Anyway, now are you looking to bank the easy way? Then join Zenith Bank's Easy Banking family. Download the Z Mobile Ghana app, log on to individual or corporate internet banking platforms, or simply dial *966# to enjoy seamless banking on the go. You can make transfers, top up airtime, pay bills, and pay for goods and services, and so much more. Zenith Bank, in your best interest. Now, study in our BSc Nursing degree program today, accredited by GTech and the Nursing and Midwifery Council. With our ultra-modern and well-equipped labs for practicals, we give you hands-on training on the job market, or for the job market, through technology-driven teaching and learning, coupled with entrepreneurial training, financial support, and personal development. You can get in touch with Heritage Christian College. They are the ones offering this course. They are at Ashaiman behind the Olympic Stadium. Call them on 0547 77731 or 0202 298 399. Heritage Christian College, University Training, Compassionate Entrepreneurial Leaders.
So much to talk about this morning. Vaccines are in. Great news. Judge exposes people trying to bribe him. Even better news. Police have updated us on the Ashaiman incident. All of that ahead. Later on, I'll be speaking to one of the Heritage Caravanites. Medical practitioner, lives in the US, came down with his team to be on the Caravan. We'll be speaking to him later in the morning. Now, before we get into all of that, the Cybersecurity Authority, in exercising its mandate, has commenced the licensing of cybersecurity service providers and accreditation of their establishments and professionals. Now, from the 1st of March to the 3rd of September, they will be going through an activity where they will license and accredit institutions, service providers, and professionals. For more information, go to our website, csa.com.gov.gh. That's csa.gov.gh. And please note that without license, you cannot operate. After September 30, you'll be liable to pay administrative penalties in accordance with the Cybersecurity Act. All right, so let's start with this one that I think is a breath of fresh air. Tells you that some things work, some people are still good, and we have to use our platform to highlight this. So what's the story? Well, we got this story from the National Patriots Against Injustice and Corruption. I had never heard of them until I got this statement. And the statement is basically saying that on the morning of Friday, 10th of March, something happened in Courtroom 2 at the Upper East Regional Court, where the supervising High Court judge, His Lordship Alexander Graham, demonstrated high levels of integrity and professionalism. Now, let's talk to one of the executives of this organization called the NAPIC. And then just sort of they sent out the release which gave us a story. Of course, Graphic also did a story on this. A couple of lawyers have confirmed that this incident has happened. But let me speak to the organization that put this on a press release. So the vice president of the NAPIC is called Akobulgo Zoti Peliba Ayo. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, my brother.
Thanks for joining us. What kind of organization is the NAPIC?
NAPIC is an organization that fights against injustice and corruption in Upper East region and it beyond.
How long has the organization been in existence?
Oh, we have been on the ground almost 10 years, but we are very proactive about 5 years ago.
Wonderful. So were you in court personally when this incident occurred? How did you get to hear about this incident?
I was not that personal, but my members was there.
I see. So what happened? Because I noticed you wrote a statement chronicling the incident. What is your recollection or what is your understanding of the incident?
My understanding and my recollection of this is the level of integrity that the judge has played I can say, in the history of justice. This is the first time I'm seeing somebody who honestly, boldly came out to fight, what do you call it, corruption or whatever that they call it. Because in the country, the corruption has been grown, even up to a level of professionalism, having a lot of certificates, that there's nobody who can stop corruption because it has become a normal system to a Ghanaian system. But this judge, His Lordship, Graham, has honestly shown it to the public that there are still people who are still honest. There are still people who want to fight corruption. There are still people who want to help the needy or the vulnerable in society. That is what I can only tell that this is what happened, and there's my collection of it.
All right. In terms of what specifically happened, who are the people who got the judge who are the people who wanted to speak to the judge privately, and do we know what they tried to tell the judge?
It's the body chief and the secretary of Tumurana who wanted to, let me use the word, to oil the mouth of the chief delegated by the Tumurana, the partner chief of Talsi Traditional Area, who based on Nalitan to invite the judge to his palace for them to speak on an issue that pending before the law court, which the acting supervision court judges was settled on. So he wanted the judge to come to his house. For what reasons? To cool him down, to let him understand, to use his normal practice that he used to, tactics and other things that he used to, by directing, being a commander, I'm going to Ghana Police Service, a commander in military, a commander in wherever that you have issues with this chief, he will order and it will happen. Whatever decision that he's taking, finally it will go by that. You can imagine a lot of people losing their life, a lot of things are happening, and whoever reported this issue against the partner chief will end up by disgrace, will end up by not even knowing where the case has ended. So they were on the process of getting the judge to their side so that the judge can go by whatever decision that the partner chief is taking.
But do we know if has it been confirmed that these two people were actually sent by the paramount chief? Because the statement says that there's a claim that they told the judge, but do we know for a fact that these people were acting on behalf of this chief?
Yeah, my confirmation comes by when the judge ordered them to tell the court what happened or what they told him in his chambers. And they were assembling, and the judge himself came up boldly to narrate what happened and what they told him, and ordered the police to arrest them, and they were arrested. The judge ordered them that they should sign a bond of good behavior, and which they did. This confirmed that they were actually with their meter that day.
Now, do we know the specific matter that they wanted to influence the judge about? We are told that the judge considered their action a trap and contemptuous. But was the matter in relation to a pending case? Do you know what specific issue it was?
My brother, I can suggest that it was on the issue of the Shanxi and mining. They had a new name, and I'm not even interested in those their names. I'm not even interested of Chinese being in Ghana talking of known their first name. The former name is Shangji, with an issue with Pumbo Taba and the other mining group where they want to hijack their concessions, which came to a matter of influence, and they were charged before the High Court. And these were the issues that they wanted to see if they can turn around things. I know injunction was placed on the Chinese, and I don't know to enter into the other concession until the matter had been decided. So it was that same case that was called. Other irrelevant cases that they wanted to influence it so that they can go by their side, so they can continue doing their evil things that they used to do in the region.
We are told that after the judge asked them to tell the court what they tried to do in secret, they couldn't speak at all, and that the judge was minded to convict them, but that some lawyers came to plead for a fine.
Not some lawyers, so many lawyers, not some lawyers, so many lawyers. You know, they were totally embarrassed and confused, excuse to use that name, or they were full of evil spirit. You know, do you know Tigari? My brother, do you know Tigari?
No, I don't know him.
Have you ever been to one of the spiritual churches?
No. So what is that got to do with what we are discussing?
I want to set an example for you to know.
Go ahead.
It's like when you are a Tigari man or you are a spiritual pastor, and the drum and the spirit invade on you, and you're so overexcited, hijacked by the spirit, you can't stand into a dead person. So whatever disease you want to, you can't talk about it. So they were so full of bad, evil spirit. So they were caught with the lion. So they were totally, they don't even know where to start and where to. So they were seamless and they were shedding tears. They don't even know whether they were in Jabila or they were in Ponde. So they were totally embarrassed. And as a grown-up, a chief, a recognized chief, being embarrassed before the ordinary people, they can't say a word. So they were totally confused because that was the first time they were disgraced.
So we are told the judge also asked them to produce the paramount chief in court. Do we know? Do we know if the court has sat since? I think this was Friday, right? So it means are they sitting today, Monday?
I think they will be sitting today, but I don't know whether they will be producing the paramount chief or the plea of the lawyers also consider on that part that they will stop bringing him. But I believe, and I trust the judge, if it was not considered for the lawyers to cancel it, he will appear before the judge because I trust the judge. Like the footballer always trusts his legs. I trust the judge, and I believe whatever he wants to do, he will do it. Unless if the plea of the lawyers were considered that, or they should forget about that.
All right. So I take it that your organization will be following up on this case and updating the public.
Boot by boot.
Wonderful. Thank you.
And I'm happy speaking to you, Bernard, today.
Thank you.
I was just for you. I have a lot for you.
Thank you, sir. That was Akobulgo Zotipeliba Ayo, Vice President of a group called the Napike Ghana. They issued a statement. Which statement captured? And Sky, the statement is pretty decent. Let me just read a few highlights of the statement. So let me just read. Ladies and gentlemen, the press, good evening. We wish to welcome you to this one important press conference organized by the National Patriots Against Injustice and Corruption in Ghana. For the first time, we begin by saying that we are happy to share this good news from the circles of justice. The Judicial Service is working. The acting Upper Institutional Supervising High Court Judge, His Lordship Justice Alexander Graham, has demonstrated that the laws of Ghana are supreme. This is because this morning at about 9 a.m., Friday, 10th March, a serious piece of drama unfolded in the courtroom, High Court 2, where the Chief of Bari, Nab Nyokora Manti, and Richard Sunday Yidinbil, the Secretary of the Paramount Chief of Talensi, Togran Kubilsong Nanlembenteng, were arrested after they had met with the judge, His Lordship Alexander Graham, in his chambers, apparently to influence the judge who is currently presiding over a money-related suit. The judge walked them out and ordered the court warrant officers, the police, to arrest and handcuff them immediately. They were arrested and handcuffed immediately on the judge's orders. Subsequently, the judge instructed the Chief of Bari and the Secretary of the Tongran to tell the open court what they had told him in private chambers. Ladies and gentlemen, shamefully, the Chief of Bari and the Secretary of the Tongra became dumb and were shivering seriously. For 3 minutes, they could not utter a word before the court audience. Then the judge said, if you cannot tell the court, I will tell them. His lordship furiously started by saying that he had issued warnings several times in his courtroom against people who might want to circumvent justice by visiting judges in their homes and in their chambers, and that this act was common in the Upper East region. He further stated that the chief of Bari, Nab Nyokora Mantil, and the secretary of the Paramount Chief of Talensi, Richard Sunday Yimbil, came to him in his chambers and told him that they had been sent by the Paramount Chief of Talensi, Togoran Kubil Song Nalen Bentang, to invite him, the judge, to his palace to discuss some money-related cases which the judge was presiding over, and for the judge to understand the cases before him. They further stated that they further told the judge that the Tongran was an accountant, a member of the Council of State, a former board chairman of Temawa Refinery, etc., etc. His Lordship Alexander Graham considered their act as a trap and contemptuous. The two were promptly charged with contempt of court. They pleaded guilty to the charge and were convicted on their own plea. Even before their conviction, the judge had asked that the two accused persons produce the Paramount Chief in court that day. In fact, the whole bench of lawyers, numbering about 12, who were in the courtroom today on different cases from Sunyani, Tamale, and Bogatanga, pleaded profusely on behalf of the two accused persons and especially on behalf of Tongran. One lawyer, Mohammed from Bewa Chambers in Tamale, said the Tongran said he had regretted his action and he had asked him to intervene by pleading with the court to not give custodial sentences to the two accused persons. The lawyer further stated that the Tongran had regretted and said that he would not repeat such an act. Lawyer Jalaldin of Shraj and lawyer Isahaku Lawal of Legal Aid all pleaded for the non-custodial sentence. Lawyer Mohammed Nambe, who's currently the lawyer for the Tongran, also told the judge that it was even enough punishment by rebuking the accused persons in open court, and that they were first offenders and would not repeat the act. Ladies and gentlemen, His Lordship Justice Alexander Graham truly listened carefully to the lawyers and said the accused persons wanted to trap and destroy his job, and if they had fallen into their trap, if they had fallen into their own trap, why all these pleas from the lawyers? He further asked the lawyers what they themselves would do if they were judges in this contempt case. The whole courtroom was quite like a cemetery. Justice Alexander Graham is indeed deserving of the noble title His Lordship. He convicted the accused persons and asked them to sign a bond for 6 months and to be of good behavior. He also directed that the bond should be signed under the Upper East Regional Police Command. The two accused persons were held in court custody from 9 a.m. to 3:18 p.m. before they were sent by the police to the Upper East Regional Police Command. We at NIPEC Ghana see the development recorded today with the Judicial Service of Ghana as one of the best actions led by a judge in the Upper East region, and we humbly would ask of him to do more. We would also love to suggest to the Chief Justice to identify good judges like His Lordship Alexander Graham and award them enormously to serve as a motivation for others to emulate and make the vulnerable also receive deserved justice when the need arises. We are aware of the modus operandi of the Tongran in trying to twist the arms of the law by using his position and his agents like the accused persons who were exposed today. Ladies and gentlemen, think about the well-known Roxin Bukari saga in which Honorable Roxin was caught in a recording saying the Tongran had told him, okay, this is a long story, different things. Baska, I think we've made the point. Yeah. The point is made by the group. I had never heard of the group until today, but they said they've been operating for a number of years. What do you make of it?
Well, I mean, first of all, I must admit that I do not know this group, and I did not until today hear of them previously. With that caveat in mind, and I also do not know if they have a specific interest in this matter.
Yeah.
Given how
they describe,
that's right. The gentleman spoke and all of that. So I will proceed with that caution in mind. That having been said, I think the crux of this matter is the report that some people, for some reason, went before a judge in his chambers with the mindset that they were going to allegedly compromise him. And in the process, of course, I mean, let me say that our laws abhor ex parte dealings with judges, not in the courtroom, but in their homes or in social gatherings,
private chambers,
or private whatever. Our courts and our laws abhor that. And where you do that and it is known and a decision is made by that judge, you can properly found, an application seeking to quash whatever decision that may have been made or may not have been made by the judge in question, because we want to ensure a certain integrity for the justice system and those who preside over it. And also having the history of what has happened in this country, we also the Anas video, which exposed crass levels of corruption, or so it seemed, within the judiciary, or some arms of it, when judges were seen taking goats, some taking tubers of yam and other things, cash in some cases, in order to throw cases. So if you have that history in mind, and then also the subsequent, efforts by the Chief Justice at the time, Mrs. Georgina Wood, to clean up the system, where eventually the President of the Republic had to remove all the affected judges from office by sacking them. Of course, there was no prosecution of any, to the best of my knowledge, although prosecution ideally ought to have followed. If you have all of this history in mind, then you would insist that we do not need a justice system that compromises itself to the point where only the rich get to have cases decided in their favor. So the kind of integrity that would command a justice to do what he did really must be commended.
And then the claim that the paramount chief was the one who sent them, and the fact that he had regretted his action, I thought that was quite interesting. So if this is to be believed, to have a paramount chief of his stature, member of the Council of State, to be involved in this kind of thing, it exposes also the levels of stress that our judges are going through. Because these are obviously influential people in society, using all the various influences they have to try and influence the course of justice. I don't know what should be done in this case, whether because they said they were sent by him, he can easily deny it, or, because the statement even claimed that he had said he regretted. We don't know if he will accept that he's done anything wrong. But should the matter end there, or can this matter be taken any further? For example, can the Attorney General be minded to investigate something?
Oh, yes. I mean, you see, attempted bribery, because we're told in that the report that there was an attempt to bribe the judge. Was that not what we're told? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So if the facts are to be believed, then the authority of the police service, or the the serious, what's the name of this new institution? The
charge?
A
special prosecutor.
Special prosecutor is properly founded to deal with this matter. Of course, the Attorney General, when he is so minded, can also cause some investigations to be done into this matter to establish the circumstances surrounding the going into the office of the justice in question, and who may or may not have sent them, so that we expose the identity or identities of the people involved for subsequent prosecution. Of course, I mean, what the judge did was to hold the guys there immediately in contempt. And when you are in contempt of court, or you do something that brings the image of the administration of justice into disrepute, the court is properly clothed, especially when it is happening in the face of the court, to deal with the matter there and then. And so that was what it would seem the judge did in that particular case. Of course, that does not mean that external institutions cannot take a dim view of the matter.
Should we be worried? Should we be worried about the other lawyers in court who, from the report, all defended? Okay, I won't say defended, but basically pleading for the culprits. Should we be concerned about that?
Well, I mean, okay, so let me proceed on the basis that, look, in all circumstances, what lawyers would do ordinarily is to intervene where a person is found guilty, to ask the judge or the person presiding over an arbitration process or a trial to temper justice with mercy. It is not inconsistent with our training because, yes, the judge at that point, from what we are told, had determined that the guys had acted in contempt of court. That having been said, it was properly within the competence of the lawyers, if they were so minded, in this case they were minded, to rise and seek audience with the judge and to ask in open court that, well, although he had determined that they were in contempt of court, they would plead for mercy.
Of course, I mean, I think the basis was that it was first-time offense. But maybe I'm sitting on a moral high ground. But listeners, look, the question we should ask ourselves is that are we really serious when we say we don't like corruption? Because for me, I don't. It's like we say we give corruption a bad name, but when somebody is trying to deal with it, we find a way of saying yo, but it's
No, I don't think. I identify with that position, but I don't think that the lawyers were saying by their intervention that Owe and Nyeshi. I believe that they were trying to signal that yes, these guys have done the wrong thing, but in keeping with all the time. I mean, if you read your Bible, there's always a plea for clemency.
That's the point. It's not as if they were even invited into the matter.
Yeah, I mean, yes, they are officers of the court.
My point is that for me, if I'm a lawyer, I should be concerned that my case will not get to the end because somebody influential can influence the judge. So I should be very happy if a judge decides to come to open court to say that somebody is trying to bribe me, and therefore I'm going to jail them to show that. Didn't they jail somebody recently for contempt over some land issue?
Yeah, that's right.
You get me? So
yeah, a former member of parliament.
So if I'm a judge, I'm a lawyer in that court, and I know that I spend many hours researching my brief, and I go to court, and I'm not sure whether I will get justice on the basis of the merits of my case, but whether somebody has greased the judge's palms or not. The bar should be more interested. I think the GBA should even issue a statement. The bar are key stakeholders in the dispensation of justice.
I agree with that.
I think the Judicial Service will probably issue a statement. They should, to talk about the fact that this judge has distinguished himself and that people who work within that service ought to be commended. But I think the Ghana Bar Association needs to also jump in. And I'm not saying what the lawyers did that is illegal, but for me, it doesn't sound right that the first impulse is to beg.
You see, Bernard,
because it goes back to the point about opinion leaders, chiefs, pastors, influential people all the time trying to put pressure on institutions of state. Do you get me? So maybe an attorney general is trying to get his job done. They go and meet him. They call his elder in church, go and meet him to go and beg. It's the same thing. All right? So, and of course, this was done in open court. So it's not nefarious. I'm not saying it's illegal what they did. But my concern is that the bar should be speaking more about these things than we hear. And I don't hear them a lot on these matters. And if you listen to this guy I interviewed carefully, it seems as if this is a very normal practice where there are people who try to influence judges all the time. So lawyers should not be seen to be begging for people like this. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, so you see, I identify with some of the positions you articulate. But I'm just saying that in all the circumstances of this case, a lawyer or lawyers are not entirely forbidden from rising to urge the court to temper justice with mercy.
Yes, justice with mercy.
Yeah, because, I mean, really, the first thing is that you have found the person culpable. The second thing then is to determine what punishment to exact. And in the process, judges take all kinds of things into consideration.
Okay.
The people there, the lawyers, were not by their intervention saying that don't punish the person.
Okay.
They were saying that, in dealing with this matter, please be minded to exercise your discretion in a way that does not only exact justice, but that is also merciful, to send a signal to the rest of us that we should not get involved in things like this.
3 minutes past 8, Citi Breakfast Show. Send us your thoughts on 054-998-6996. Coming up next is Tech and Social Media Trends, brought to us by One Ghana promotion of Vodafone. Just One Ghana City gives you 20 minutes talk time to all other networks and 1 gig of data every day between 5 a.m. and 11:59 a.m. Simply dial *530# subscribe and enjoy longer conversations and browsing. The Vodafone One Ghana promo is the best value offer in town. Easy on your pocket. Save big when you subscribe to the One Ghana promo daily. Tech and Social Media Trends is next. Nathan Kwa will give us that segment. Nathan.
Well, yeah, Bernard, there's very interesting things trending on Twitter and other places. Of course, football-related trends. A spillover from the weekend, Southampton, Man United. There's one, #sack Anthony Taylor.
What has he done?
He sent off Casemiro.
And then he
Man
didn't
United
give some
fans,
penalties and
yeah,
things.
but they are very upset. Mohamed Kudus. Ghana police is trending for very obvious reasons. The statement they put out, so it's generated a lot of conversation.
Yeah.
People are talking about Ghana police.
Trending.
Charlie. And they are over the weekend to Sports Panorama. Actually, it was trending from Friday through Sunday.
3 straight days of trending. I hope for good reasons.
Yeah, for good reason. We had a very interesting show on Friday night.
You
The
hosted.
FA's General Secretary.
I like it. I like it
Prosper
when
Harrison,
I like it when the FA brings their people on board programs.
Yeah.
It lends a lot of credibility to what the FA does, and I want to commend Prosper for taking all the blows and giving back in good measure.
And it was
solid.
It was a good interview.
Solid.
It was a good
solid.
interview.
Solid.
Sports Panorama
solid.
got very interesting
Solid.
reviews on Friday.
You know, I think the politicians should take a cue from the FA. They should come and sit here and allow me and Gofford and Sky to deal with them. You know, they should just come, give them nice seats. You know, like nice.
As senior colleague,
it was very, very good.
Our senior colleague Michael Etieje dropped a very interesting tweet, giving thumbs up to.
So the thing had gone well
on Friday.
Wonderful.
Yes. In terms of tech news, now somebody will say, okay, I'm talking about the Silicon Valley Bank. So somebody will ask, okay, why is this important? Well, lots of startups put their money there. Lots of startups depend on that bank to do their business.
And a lot of the organizations that fund startups
also
have their money there.
And that
about
bank,
50% of those kinds of organizations in the US saved it, the SVB.
So, and they in the last few days, they've had issues since last week, I believe. And over the weekend, they all came to a head. So companies that are in Ghana that rely on the tech ecospace outside or the ecosystem outside, they'll have to look at it carefully. It may mean something for your own funding, for your own business. And if you find that a related party has been affected by Silicon Valley Bank's collapse, then you should know that you may face one issue or the other. So those are the main things on the segment.
Second social media trends brought to you by Vodafone and Caravan.
Yo, bro, I beg, make you give me correct shock absorber. Or make a do video concept, then take the Gaussian P for the engine show you.
Hey, yawa humache. Every morning you the tear calls, they browse. Actually, something they there.
Hey, Tago, the way town make hot. I grow best one if you are no po. If it be you where you get Vodafone one Ghana promo them out. 20 minutes talk time to call all networks. Where you start get data and 1 gig from 5 a.m. to 11:59 a.m. Bye. How can you go do pass me safe, Ankasa? You dial *530#. Make we enjoy. You go fit subscribe as many times as you want.
Yes, plantain chips.
Yo, sweet Ama, take this by Vodafone one Ghana bundle. Moku vibe plus video calls and taste. You catch the vibe early morning, 5 a.m. sharp.
Vodafone, further together. Join the conversation on the Citi Breakfast Show on Facebook at facebook.com/Citi97.3, Twitter at twitter.com/Citi973, and Instagram at instagram.com/Citi973 with the hashtag CitiCBS.
There's no price like the ShopRite price. That's why we are committed.
Coca-Cola for your special meal compliments. Your favorite 300 ml Coca-Cola Classic bottle is now 5 cedis. The 300 ml Coke Zero, Fanta or Sprite is even cheaper. It's just 4 cedis. Your 1.5 liter Coke Classic is now 20, whilst your Coke Zero, Fanta and Sprite are going for 18 cedis. Bring the excitement and fun to all your occasions and enjoy the real ice-cold refreshment with friends and family. All right, so on Tuesday, the 7th of March, number of people sent us comments about happenings in Ashaiman. Eventually, we got a statement, I think it was signed 10th, where the military tried to explain the activities of some of their men in Ashaiman, claiming that they had gone there to arrest the killers of one of their men who had gone there on the 4th of March. They had arrested 120 people. I think 128 was the number at the beginning. Released a number of them and said they would hand over suspects to the police. Now, the police have sent a statement. They sent a statement yesterday, which not only clarifies the issues around the murder of the soldier, but in a lot of people's view, including mine, really shames the military because the timeline suggests that while the military were doing what they were doing, the police were already on the matter and they had actually made some good progress. So Nathan will read, it's just 2 pages. Just read the statement for us.
Okay. So the statement says, Ghana Police Service statement on the murder of a soldier, Imoro Sheriff. The Ghana Police Service, after a week of sustained intelligence operation, has arrested 6 persons at different dates and in various locations in Ashaiman and its environs for their suspected involvement in the murder of Imoro Sheriff, a soldier. On the 4th of March 2023, police received information that a male adult had been found lying dead at Ashaiman Taifa in the Greater Accra region. A team of police officers proceeded to the said location and confirmed the incident. The police immediately commenced investigations into the circumstances surrounding the death of the victim. The officers cordoned off the scene and called in the specialist police crime scene team to process the scene for forensic analysis. The crime scene team retrieved a number of items, including a knife with bloodstains on it and a backpack. In the backpack, the police found 1 Samsung tablet, 1 Apple laptop, 1 military uniform with the name tag Imoro, 8 other items of clothing, as well as a Ghana card and a health insurance card bearing the name Imoro Sheriff. Judging from the contents of the backpack, the police suspected that the victim could be a soldier, and in line with police standard operating procedure for handling institution-based victims, the military was accordingly notified of the incident, and some military personnel came to identify the deceased to the police as Imoro Sheriff, a soldier. The body of the deceased was thereafter conveyed to a hospital for preservation and autopsy. As part of the investigation, an intelligence operation team was immediately launched within Ashaiman and other strategic locations of interest to follow up on all relevant leads on the case. On the same day, consistent with Ghanaian tradition and as part of the investigation process, a team of police officers, after identifying the residence of the parents of the deceased, visited them, commiserated with them, and assured them of a thorough investigation into the matter. During the visit, the parents informed the police that the deceased was stationed at Sunyai but had come to Accra on a course. Investigations further revealed that on March 3, 2023, the deceased had visited a female friend at Ashaiman Newtown at about 10:30 p.m. and left the place in the middle of the night at about 1:30 a.m. on March 4, 2023. After almost a week of painstaking intelligence-led operations, on March 9, 2023, the police arrested suspects Safiano Musa, alias Dayogu, and Ibrahim Abdul Rakib at their hideouts in Ashaiman. 2 other suspects, Samuel Tete, alias Wiper, and Abubakar Sadiq, alias Birdman, were also arrested at their hideouts on March 10, 2023. 2 additional suspects, Yusuf Mohammed and Abdul Gafaru Abdul Karim, were arrested on March 11 and March 12, respectively. Further investigation has established that suspects Samuel Tete and Abubakar Sadiq at about 1:45 a.m. on March 4 attacked the deceased at Taifa Ashaiman in an attempt to rob him of his phone and a backpack. The deceased, however, resisted and struggled with the suspects. During the struggle, suspect Samuel Tete pulled out a knife and stabbed the deceased in the arm, snatched his phone and bolted, leaving the deceased with the knife stuck in his arm. A post-mortem examination was performed on the deceased's body on March 8, after which the pathologist gave the verbal cause of death as exsanguination and laceration of major vessels of the left arm consistent with the stabbed injury. Investigations also revealed that suspects Samuel Tete and Abubakar Sadiq sold the phone which they had robbed from the deceased to suspect Ibrahim Abdul Rakib, who later sold it to suspect Safianu Musa. Suspect Safianu Musa is being evasive as to the whereabouts of the phone and claims to have sold it to suspect Yusuf Mohammed and later to suspect Abdul Ghafaru Abdul Karim. Both suspects have been arrested and are assisting the investigation to recover the phone. On March 12, 2023, a team of police officers led by the Tema Regional Police Commander visited the family of the deceased and briefed them on the investigations done so far. We wish to commend all police officers at all levels of command, especially the Crack Police Intelligence and Investigations Team, as well as the Ashaiman District Police Command for their professionalism and meticulous dedication working around the clock to unravel this case. We would like to assure the public, especially the family of the deceased, that all the suspects are in police custody and will be put before court on Monday, March 13, to face justice. Signed, Grace Ansah Krufi, Assistant Commissioner of Police, Director, Public Affairs.
All right, so that was the police. I don't know what you guys make of this. Godfred first. The 18-paragraph statement detailing everything they know about the incident.
First of all, congratulations to the Ghana Police Service for conducting this expeditiously, which is what we expect of every situation that they find themselves in. But I'm congratulating them particularly because of the unique circumstances around this particular one, and also the criticism that had been leveled against the Ghana Police Service because they had not spoken on the matter since then. I think that in the 1 week since, this statement outlines everything that they did, what they have done, and the way forward on it. They have outlined their processes, where they went, what time they went, who they spoke to, how they got their information, what was taken, what was not taken, how the person died, as confirmed by a certified professional that can be verified. Everything out there. So the case now moves from the realms of the Ghana Police Service to the realms of the Attorney General, who will then carry on the second part or the third part, whichever one you want to place it. The reason why I'm going on this line is something that I spoke last week. Due process.
Yeah.
Due process. Which is why I was vehemently, and I still am vehemently opposed to what the military did. Because the law does not provide an avenue for them to conduct these things with due process. The Ghana Police Service, per our laws, were the ones or are the ones who have been wrapped up in that kind of power to conduct legitimate investigative work in this regard. And per the statement that they have put before us today, unless somebody comes to say that they have a different take on what has happened, this is what we will take, because per the laws, this is what we are supposed to take, and this is what is supposed to happen.
Let me ask you a question. Do you think the absence, okay, I won't say failure. You know, usually they teach us that when you read a statement, don't just read what he says, but what he doesn't
What
say.
it doesn't say.
It seems to me as if there's a deliberate, I don't know, like they ignore the military. They basically just said, we informed them that this person is for soldier and as per our rules. But they didn't really say anything about what the military said they did on the
I do not think
7th.
yes.
They didn't make any comment about the way they like there was nothing.
They
So
did not-
is that
in my estimation, they did not need to. Because the general public will make sense of this the same way we are trying to make sense of it. And the police know that. The police know that. That is why the information they put out is as detailed as it is. From the very second of the incident.
No stone unturned.
No,
so they're basically saying
have
at no point were we not in control of
the situation. Contrary to the public opinion that had been put out there,
that because of our inaction,
the military were required to go because police was not doing anything.
So they didn't need to even make reference to that.
No, they did not.
By just giving this level of detail. And the other reason why I'm concerned about the lack of mention of military, the military said in their statement that they would hand over the people arrested to the police.
Police.
But there's no mention of that in the statement.
And so, once again, congratulations to the Ghana Police Service for an outstanding job. They should keep it up. We want more of such work. Now, that brings me to the second part of this and why I said I was opposed, I'm still opposed, and why out of this, I hope, Sky, the Committee on Interior and Defense, they're going to meet people on this?
Yeah, they said they'll go to Ashaiman on Thursday, this very Thursday.
No, not just Ashaiman. Would they discuss this in the House?
Yeah, so
are they inviting
that will
people
be subsequent to
after their visit?
Did the MP make a statement on the floor?
Their statement was admitted by the speaker,
the date for the yes. So he'll make a statement later.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me make a quick general point, and then I will I'll leave the space for Sky and the rest.
I have Festus Abuajis on the big issue that I want to air as well. So
let me wrap this up quickly before you bring in Mr. Kennel. You see, there's a paradox that I want to use. Because we fear others, we've created an institution of violence to protect us. But then we fear the very institution we have created for protection. That's the paradox we find ourselves in. And it's a paradox that most civilized communities live with when it comes to the military. We somehow have convinced ourselves that we have a military that should be allowed to exist without reign.
Yeah.
It's a kind of control, which is not what is supposed to happen. There are significant thoughts on how to control the military, when to control the military, and why we have to control the military. And it exists in different avenues in different countries. We have a very unique history. Until 1992, we were not a democracy.
Yep.
We were basically on the vestiges of being a military dictatorship, so to say.
Yeah.
You know. And there was an agreement to move out of that. Now, that agreement created a certain kind of space for the military as well. That we want to move into a democracy. For that to happen, we will need A, B, C, and D to happen. Now, what should have happened is that Ghana should have transitioned into what we call a consolidated democracy. But we some way, somehow still have remnants of that deal that we did with the military in 1992, weighing heavily on us.
So you feel they're above the law?
So, yes. You see, because other than that, I will not have a deputy minister of defense with the expertise he's supposed to have and the knowledge that he's supposed to have justify what happened in Ashaiman. There will be no basis for it. Why? Because, question one, up until he was waking up from his bed, he would have had no idea that the military was in Ashaiman.
Yeah.
The situation should have been the reverse.
That he would
know. Somebody should call him from the barracks there and say, Deputy Minister or Minister Nitiwu, we have lost a soldier in Ashaiman. We are not happy with the ways. We are going there. Should we go? He will say no. Whose permission are you going with? Which commander? Which car are you moving? What are you doing? We have somehow allowed these things to happen with the feeling that,
the military needed to go and re-establish their order. The thing about living in an organized society, and I want Ghanaians to listen to me very carefully on this, is this. And I heard Minister Nitiwo as well. And again, he surprises me with his choice of words on some of these matters. No civilian is supposed to fear a soldier.
Never.
We should respect a soldier. The soldier should respect the civilian. The two go together. If he does, I'm speaking slowly.
Why do you deliberately say
yes, the two go together. So when I hear sorts of civilians don't fear us anymore, that is the remnants of the 1992 I am talking about, because before that time, we feared the military. We are not supposed to fear the military.
Elected officials should not be perpetrating.
Should not be talking like that. As you somehow forget you are an elected official. Now, the reason why it is important when we talk about the control is everything that the military has is budgeted for. Who pays for it?
It's the taxpayer.
It's the taxpayer. It's the civilian taxpayer who is taxed heavily for these things. Like I said, that is the paradox that we've created. But we should not create a scenario where civilians or people see the military and suddenly go like, hey, some monster is emerging. No. And there has to be a clear message sent by the people who have oversight, who are the civilians. And I'm emphasizing this. The military does not oversee itself.
At all.
There are a lot of Ghanaians who somehow live with the notion that the military is a law unto itself. One, there is no, as we live in this country, with Sky, again, you can help me, other lawyers who are listening, there is no separate law in this country outside of the 1992 Constitution.
It's the overriding law.
For the military.
At all.
And all of us exist in that green book there, 1992. But some way, somehow, we seem to want to allow the military to have a certain autonomy in certain spaces. And it's there for a reason.
It's dangerous.
Okay?
It's dangerous because, let me just say it bluntly, if you start giving them that position, they will decide on their own when they think a government is not working well. Go to Egypt and other places. They will decide who they want to keep in office and who they don't keep. So people who are elected with taxpayers' money should not be perpetrating such deep-seated false narratives about our constitution. It is completely wrong to think that you will sit in your position and allow soldiers to do what they want. Now, let me just make it clear. If everybody decides that when something happens to one of their own, they'll take the law into their own hands. When a policeman is killed, the police will also go and do a swoop. When a judge is killed, the judge will also say, well, we'll not go through the process. We'll also deal whoever. If a journalist is killed, do you know what kind of society we'll create? That because their soldiers will be accepted. And you go on social media and see people saying that, well, Ashaiman people they are so bad. What do they expect? What do they expect? They expect the rule of law. How can one person's action in a community lead to a whole community being beaten up and you sit down and defend such a thing?
I'll tell you a story. But
I don't know how.
I will wrap this up quickly again. Like I said, I don't want to take too much time. But we need to use this opportunity. Ghana, again, land of missed opportunities. To re-establish order. To re-establish the unbridled fact that the military is not a law unto itself. And they know it. And they are very professional about it. But unfortunately, sometimes the civilian side of it tends to cower a bit and so allows certain things.
So Abuaji made a point this weekend, which I think will help you.
What did he say?
He said that the political elite have started, they've used the military for their own ends. And they've allowed a situation to degenerate. You listen to him just a few minutes.
No, but I'll lose my train of thought. I beg you.
He's basically saying that because of the way we have misused the institution, the levels of indiscipline we are seeing is going to grow.
Yes.
Now, and this is a former colonel
in the army.
So I'm not.
And I'm sure the army itself has concerns about how it has been used in civilian corridors. The army, as we speak today, provides security for bullion vans. The army today, as we speak, provides security for private individuals who are elected officials, so to say, in all kinds of ways. The army provides security help, operational help for certain activities of the state.
It's including Galamsey.
Perhaps it is high time we have a conversation about how we use them in civilian corridors. Because Bernard, I'm not that old, but I've lived in a lot of places. Bernard, I have never seen this kind of usage of a country's military like the way we do in Ghana. I have lived in Lagos. I have lived in Nairobi. I have lived in China. I have spent a bit of time in Europe.
Yeah.
I have spent a considerable time in America. Bernard, I have never seen some before. What we do here, and we have normalized it.
Yeah.
And if you speak to some of the soldiers themselves, they will tell you they do not like it.
Yeah.
That constant interface between civilians and them, they do not like it because it's not supposed to be the norm. But we have done that. So we need to take this opportunity and fix that particular situation so that this does not repeat itself. And again, for my fellow Ghanaians who are listening to me this morning, who some way somehow convince themselves that there is room for an emotive reaction from the military. Hey, the basic training of the military focuses on stoicism. They are not supposed to be fazed by things. So if we somehow say, oh, a soldier has died, very sad, or has been murdered, and so we go in, act the way we acted. Now, the reason why this becomes problematic is, now we can sit here confidently, based on the police statement, and say, of the 100 and something people who were caught in that so-called intelligence operation, how many of them are on the police list? How many? You see, and one thing Ghanaians tend, we tend to take solace in compartmentalizing our lives. Oh, the people in Ashaiman. Oh, the people in this, the people in that. Do you know where you can find yourself? Bernard, I'll tell you a story. When I was covering the Kenyan election, the last batch one, not this one, I was going to Kibra. If you know Kibra very well, Kibra is 3 times what Ashaiman is supposed to be. The one that you call Kibera. So I was going to book an interview, right, for the day after
the election.
Now, on my way there, apparently something had happened. So the dynamics in Kibra had changed.
And you didn't know?
I did not know. I was there with a driver. Charlie, they had blocked roads. They were burning things. Massive clash. So I get there. Circumstances had changed. Unfortunately for me, I had not taken my ID. Because I was assuming it was a normal day. I had just left the office to go to Kibra. It's a 12-minute drive from my office to Kibra. So I get there, and the tactical unit of the Kenyan police is heavily battling crowds there. They are throwing tear gas. They are doing the most. And I am caught somewhere in the middle.
You don't speak the language?
I don't speak the language. Police approach, and the tactical unit of the Kenyan police, the ones who wear the camouflage, they are like the soldiers. They are a different level of crazy.
But they are police people.
But they are police.
Okay.
In Kenya.
You know, my taxi driver gets hauled out of the car, put on the floor. I get dragged out.
Hey.
Bernard, I'm not joking. And the first thing my taxi driver says is, he's a journalist. I'm just driving. So the policeman then says, where is your ID? Okay. And I said, oh, I didn't. I had left my ID. He said, what are you doing here
this place at this time
without your ID? And I said, when I was leaving my office, there was nothing happening here. Per the reports that we had, it was all cool. Apparently the situation was fluid. It had changed. On a normal day, I would not be in Kibra.
You would have been. And Charlie, if it wasn't for God, you'd not be alive today.
I would not be in Kibra. So for a lot of Ghanaians, you might find yourself somewhere you are not supposed to be out of no fault of yours.
Yes.
That day, you will pray to God. The law works.
Thank you.
Tell you.
Wonderful. Let's listen to a couple of quick minutes of Colonel Festus Abuaji have been on a big issue this weekend, where he takes Godfrey's point a bit further before I come to Sky to wrap this up. Just 2 minutes of that, talking about how he feels we've allowed the military to be used for wrong purposes, and it's not helping the society. And we are using all of this in context with the way the police, and we're not saying everything the police has said is true. We're basically saying, if you compare the police statement and the level of detail and the level of information it gives to what the military statement suggests, it's very clear that one person was acting in reaction and one was more deliberate in the way And we are not pitching one institution against another. But if we sit here and don't show this, because almost every day people are lambasting the police. And if people are using the police so-called inefficiency to legitimize military interventions. So here's Kellen Abuaji.
In a short span of time, just about 3 years, we have seen an ascendancy of the state of Ghana misapplying the Ghana Armed Forces. Yes. One, let's go to Ayawaso West Wogon, 31st January 2019. That is a classic example of how the state abuses human rights. Secondly, let us go to voter registration and how the state misapplied men and women in uniform, i.e. the military, to go and supervise elections, which is not their function. We have created that scenario that there is something called election management team and the military should be part of it. And yet have not even clearly defined what role the military should play. That is another example. Let us go to Ejura, if it was 2021, June, thereabout. The state again misapplied the Ghana Armed Forces in dealing with an event which was squarely the remit of the Ghana Police Service. Then let us go to the elections, or up to elections. This hoax, as I call it, about Western Togoland, terrorists invading Ghana, that was a ploy. And in the process, the armed forces were deployed and casualties occurred. People were arrested. We saw them in the media. As of now, can any journalist tell us where those arrested persons are? What has been the outcome of that event? Then let us go to 6-7 January 2021, transition of authority from one administration to the other, albeit by the same party. Who ordered the Ghana Armed Forces to enter the House of Parliament? Till today, nobody in government has had the moral courage and the decency to come out and say, I, Obintin or Asimesi, ordered the military to go there. My argument is that when the state misapplies the Ghana Armed Forces, for that matter, the military and other security institutions, it's only a matter of time that those institutions will misapply their mandate. And that is exactly what we saw at Ashaiman. But let me move from the central government level and go to the local assembly level.
We'll leave it here. But I think that point is very well made. The way he chronicles the events. And I want to bring Sky in on this. So Ayawaso West Wogon is there, Ejura is there. He's also mentioned Parliament itself being there, and then Ashaiman as well. So it's a trend we're seeing. Yep. All right, and Godfrey also talks about how they are being used. So some officials of state are now being protected by soldiers. Mm-hmm. And even if it's almost like we are making their presence in society very common. Yeah. And it's not necessarily a good thing. All right, there's no law that prohibits against that. But what it shows is what the concern is. And the way they went about what they did in Ashaiman, for me, it speaks volumes. And the reason we contrast it with the police statement is that the way the police have even explained this specific case, it even suggests the military didn't even talk to the police. Because if you had spoken to the police and they had told you the kind of things they were doing, there's no way you're going to do what you went to do there. Okay, so the question is, how are institutions of state also acting without even talking to each other properly?
Bernard.
Okay, and because you talk about intelligence. Mm-hmm. How do you have intelligence work by soldiers which doesn't involve the work the police is doing?
Hold on. So, okay, thank you for the perspective. So, first of all, let me just say quickly that I have had the opportunity to warn some people or caution some people who are close to the corridors of Parliament and then also the corridors of power and then, of course, the judiciary, that the use of the military to protect judges, to protect Parliament, to protect members of the executive is wrong. And they should discontinue it. The reason it is wrong is that, look, if these guys, for some reason, some adventurer, for some very dastardly reason, decides to take a boot at our constitution and to compromise the democracy that we have enjoyed for the past 30 years, it will be an easy call for him to try and get all these people in line. All these people they protect will be arrested one night, and our democracy is over.
Yes.
Because they are protecting this big man, that big man, that big. All he needs to do is to give them a command. And where they are willing, and are a willing party to compromising our democracy is gone. So they should discontinue the idea and the implementation of the same, that the military are a better option, or soldiers are a better option for protecting our big men and women. That having been said, and I hope the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces is listening. That having been said, you said something really, really smart about why the two institutions seem not to be talking to each other. If you read the police statement, they said in that statement that when they moved to the scene and got wind of the fact that the victim was a soldier, they called in. They spoke to the military
and asked them to identify him.
Exactly, and they came to identify the person. So in all the circumstances of this case, it was clear from the beginning of the investigations into this matter that the military or the police had spoken to the military about what had happened. And they must have been aware that the police were investigating the matter. Now, what I suspect...
That's a good point.
Yes. What I suspect, however, is that for some reason, as we speak, we have still not resolved the murder of Major Mahama.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So I would imagine that for some reason these guys just thought that, look, the criminal justice system has not even brought justice to the people who killed Major Mahama. So let's just go there Abongo style and do what we like. So big men and women within the Ghana Army, an institution that is supposed to be professional to its core. If you look at the regulations, even where you are lawfully deployed and you go against the grains of discipline, the regulations require that you are disciplined and you can be court-martialed and punished accordingly. And the person responsible for you, where he also acts negligently per the Ghana Armed Forces regulations, he's also to be dealt with. Now, the question we should ask is, from all the circumstances of the statement that has been issued by the police, it would seem, and it justifies and in fact fortifies our position, that what the military did in Ashaiman was wrongful in law. It was unconstitutional, it was crass, it was unprofessional, and that there has got to be accountability. And that accountability cannot be done behind the veils of some, internal arrangement.
No.
And that is why I am particularly disappointed in the President of the Republic. Because if you look at the provisions of Article 57, he is supposed to be the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. He is also the protector of every citizen of the Republic of Ghana, because it is in him we have entrusted our rights, liberties.
Yes.
And he is supposed to protect that for us at all times. Of course, the courts and parliament have their duties as well. But in promising us before the 2016 elections, and on what the papers are saying the last time, I quoted the MPP's words in their manifesto, what they said about protecting personal liberties if they come to power. And you become president, egregious violations of the kind that we saw in Ashaiman have happened.
Not a whisper.
You have spoken so loudly about the killing of Floyd, what was his name?
George Floyd.
George Floyd in the US. Yet under your own administration, citizens, innocent citizens who were just going to find living bread, were brutalized by the military. You had every opportunity in opening your statement before Parliament to deal with that matter. Because at that point, it was part of the state of our nation. Yet, for some reason, you did not speak about it. So many days on, as a man who was railroaded to the office of president on the legitimate fact that you had fought human rights abuses in the past. That record we cannot deny. So if you come to office on the basis of that record, and people regard you as an avatar when it comes to the safeguarding of the rights of the people of Ghana, you have got to demonstrate a certain level of commitment, passable commitment, to ensuring that the rights of the good people of Ghana are protected. Unfortunately, so many days after these guys were unfortunately arrested unlawfully, he has still not spoken. Bernard,
it's sad.
I'm roundly disappointed, and I hope that before the close of today, there will be a statement from the Ghana, the what do you call it, the presidency, detailing exactly what he intends to do
the other
with
problem,
the men and women
the other problem
involved in unlawful deployment.
With all of this, Parliament hasn't said anything, and I found it quite interesting that the defense minister in Parliament was talking about increasing the salaries of soldiers. He chose the same week that this matter happened, where people are bleeding about this, to talk about the fact that they have increased the salaries of security agents. For me, it just reveals a certain mindset, which is very troubling for me. And I feel like all forces in democracy should speak up about this. You know, I don't want to pick on institutions, but I just told you about what a judge did in a court. On a good day, you should expect the lawyers in Ghana to write a statement and say, we support this judge. You've seen military people beating people in Ashaiman. On a good day, you expect the lawyers, who are supposed to be the defenders, to come and say, look, this is extrajudicial, this is not right. We haven't heard from them.
Yeah, the GBA, no, it's
you know, I think they have a new leadership. I don't know whether they have sworn an oath of secrecy. But it is very troubling that in a country where these kind of things are happening, you see, a democracy doesn't work for lazy citizens. The reason we come on air to talk is not because we don't have work to do. It's because once there's space for it within the limits that is allowed, you must let your voice be heard on matters that are important. And sometimes use your editorial powers to take a position on issues, to distinguish between reporting and opinionating. GBA and other civil society organizations have that right. They have decided not to use it. And I feel that it's very, very unfortunate, because it means that you lose legitimacy to comment when another person is committing the crime. So for me, I want to urge these institutions to come to the party, because rights don't get wiped out in a day. They chip at it every day. And as they chip at it and you keep quiet, it's acquiescence. Silence means consent. If all these actors in a democracy believe that what is happening is wrong, nothing prevents them from issuing a statement. I mean, look at the group that I read their statement. I don't even know how to mention the guy's name. Why should it be this group that is issuing a statement about what the judge has done? All these civil society people working in law, did you hear about this? That this Akobulugo Zokoturugo guy is the guy who is now asking about Tigari on air. It tells you that the space, we are failing our citizens. We are failing posterity. And for me, look, people should not think fear is nothing. Do your work, because everybody will die. It's just your day that's different from mine. So sit down and do your work and stop this selective thing you are doing, because if the democracy goes, all of us will suffer. So we are urging forces in civil society, please come. These violations are getting one too many. All right, we have the network and the media platform. We will use it, but I tell you, there are lots of people who know what we are saying is true. And I want to commend the police, because they have not mentioned the military's name, but the way they've outlined what they've done tells you that there's a better way to do it. Couple of interviews coming up this morning. GIMPA Law Conference happening shortly. We'll be speaking to them about it. Lead Africa also joining us for a conversation. We're also talking the Heritage Caravan. But Nathan has a couple of quick announcements to make for us this morning.
Yep. Now, the Lashibi Funeral Home is saying that over the past 21 years, they have given great service to those who have lost one loved one or the other. Call them on 0509 542409 or send them an email info@lashibifuneralhomes.com. You can visit their website, lashibifuneralhomes.com, for more information. Just find out all the packages they have so you'll be sorted. Lashibi Funeral Homes and Crematorium, dignity for the deceased, comfort for the bereaved. Coronation Insurance is giving out up to 2,000 cedis worth of fuel coupons and other amazing prizes in the Coronation Motor Win promo. To participate, just buy your motor insurance using the Coronation Insurance digital platforms by dialing *789*115# or by visiting their website my.coronationinsuranceghana.com. You can call them on 0302 772 606.
All right.
Now, Vodafone Business presents Too Much Business, the #1 mobile plan for businesses in Ghana today. With Vodafone Too Much Business, you have the best mobile plan on the market that gives your business the best value. That means you have the flexibility to choose voice, data, and SMS packages that suit your business's size and ambitions. You can get in touch with Vodafone by sending START to 0507 779 000 or send an email vodafonebusiness.gh@vodafone.com to sign up now. Vodafone, further together.
Standard Water has over 25 years of experience in providing quality and refreshing water to quench your thirst. This refreshing water brand is available in all 11 regions of Ghana, and actually in 11 regions of Ghana, and we're expanding to cover the rest of the country. Standard Water has sachet water, bottled water. We also have dispenser mounted jar water. We have customized water for parties and other special occasions, available for purchase from supermarkets. Now, if you are a bulk distributor or somebody who is into retailing, you may call Standard Water now on 020 20 55 703. 020 20 55 703. Let's talk about getting Standard Water as part of your own product portfolio. Lots of comments coming in. So much to do. Don't forget, we are still in the Heritage Month. In the last 30 minutes of the show, Kweku Dakwankra joins me. We're talking about Fort Prinzenstein. It's in Keta, and some histories around some forts and castles in the country. But we'll be talking to Letitia Ohinifa, co-founder of Leader Frequent. We come back. They launched a very important program to support 2 million JHS and SSS students in Ghana with active and effective learning skills. We're going to talk about that for the next 5 years, enabling over 5,000 teachers across the country. If we don't, I was talking about teachers last week. We'll talk about that. Letitia is smiling. We have to raise teachers' salary. It's very important. We'll be right back. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Keys. What could be simpler than a key? Who doesn't have a key? A car key, an office key, a drawer key. But there's one key that rules them all. The house key. The key to a place we call home. The key to the home where everything comes together. The key to a home that is our own. A home where we make life happen with our families and loved ones. Adoha has been working hard for over 30 years to make home ownership within reach for many. Say yes to property with Adoha. Your dream home is one call away. Your dream home is a few clicks away. Visit our Accra project, The Place, by calling 030-2789-757.
Bet365 is now officially available in Ghana. My G, if you love sports, there's no better way to get a piece of the action. Build your own personalized bet with Bet Builder and select from popular markets on the biggest sports. You fit make multiple selections within a single match. For example, in football, you can choose first goal scorer and both teams to score to create your bet. Charlie, visit the official site at bet365.com.gh. Over 18s only. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly.
Vodafone Business introduces Too Much Business packages for businesses and SMEs. Yes, it be too much value. It be too much flexibility. It be too much everything. So on Vodafone, too much business. And the best part is you can now take your business up another level. Wow. Choose the voice, data, and SMS package that suits your business size and ambitions with Vodafone Too Much Business. That means more data for your business with the ability to roll over unused data. More SMS, more minutes for Vodafone to Vodafone calls and Vodafone to other networks, plus free calls amongst your employees, all in one mobile package. There is too much value you get on the best mobile plan in Ghana today. To sign up, SMS start to 050-777-9000 or email vodafonebusiness.gh@vodafone.com.
Vodafone, further together.
Hey, nowadays, germs are in the air. Aren't you concerned?
Concerned about what?
About the children, of course. In times like this, they sneeze, cough, and fall ill just like that.
This is why we need to give our children and ourselves a fighting chance with the maximum protection of Dettol soap. Dettol soap not only refreshes you, but it can be used for bathing and washing hands. So keep calm, Get Dettol soap.
Dettol protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Dettol is endorsed by the Ghana Registered Nurses and Midwives Association.
This advert is FDA approved.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winnings. 1xBet, the most reliable service to make deposits easily with high odds and numerous bonuses on the spot. Register now at 1xbet.com.gh. Use promo code BESTODDSGH to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. Easy to use, easy to have a chance to win. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker. Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
Enjoy the best of convenience and security on AT Money. Carry out all your mobile money related transactions on the go. Send or receive cash, pay bills, move cash in and out of your bank account from anywhere at any time. Airtel Tigo Money, your most secured and trusted mobile money service.
Your favorite jewelry show, the Jewelry Art Show, is here again. Come and see exciting designs from renowned artists from around the world. Get exclusive discounts from our exhibitors and polish your jewelry pieces for free. Date is 31st of March to the 1st of April. Venue ANC Mall in East Legon. Time is 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. each day. The rate, it is absolutely free. The 2-day events will feature ready-to-wear designers and designs that would excite and tickle your imagination. This will be coupled with exciting musical performances from your favorite artists. The Jewelry Art Show is brought to you by NZ Group Limited and proudly sponsored by PMMC and PJL, ANC Mall, City TV, City FM, Sikapa Jewelry, and MFA Jewelry, and supported by Federation of Goldsmiths and Jewelers Association and the Ministry of Tourism. For sponsorship and enquiries, please call 0599 428 555 or send an email to jewelry@nzgh.com. Jewelry Art Show, projecting Africa to the world.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
It's a minute to 9, Citi Breakfast Show. Lead Afrique is 9 years old today. Letitia Onifa is the co-founder of Lead Afrique. She's here with Kelvin Edem Adevu. Adevu, project manager or project officer for Lead Afrique. Welcome to the show, Letitia.
Thank you.
Welcome,
Thank you
Kelvin. Wonderful. Wow, you're already 9 years old.
Yes, we are.
That is incredible.
Officially.
It sounded like only yesterday that you started.
I know, right?
2014.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's been good.
Tell us about Lead Afrique. What do you do?
So, good morning, everyone. Lead Afrique is a human development organization. Basically, we look at moving people from one step to another and enabling them to realize their dreams. So whatever your dream is, we believe that there's a way that you can achieve it, and you shouldn't be a photocopy of somebody else's, but we can support you to think through, to plan it, and to actually bring it to fruition. So generally, that's what we do. So we work with different age groups to do that.
And what vehicle do you use? Is it the education being your main arm, or is just one of the branches?
So education is one. We have governance as well. But education is the main thing, and we do leadership through both the education and the governance arms. So that's what we do. Those are the two key areas.
Now, this campaign, Learning to Lead, is that the name of the campaign?
Learning to Learn.
Learning to Learn.
Yes.
What is that?
So let me give you a story. So this weekend, I've been watching my daughter. She will not like me for this, but
I'm blowing her cover.
But I've been watching her quietly this weekend and over the years. But this weekend, she has her very first mock today. So I wish them all well, all her classmates well. But I watched her this weekend with pride and admiration as she prepared for her very first mock. And then I noticed that for all the things the subjects that were not part of her mock, she ensured that Friday she finished with all those people, all those subjects in terms of assignments, studying, everything. Then on Saturday, she moved into studying for her core mock subjects. And you'd ask her how it's going, and she was tracking her progress. So she'd tell you things like, I'm 75% through with science. I'm 60% through with math. And she was very specific. So I was watching her, she'd sleep. She knew when to wake up, when to take her naps, because she understands the importance of sleep to her studying. And she was going through, so she set her own goals. We didn't have to be involved. Yes, she's nervous, but she's going through the process. And then nobody is telling her what to do, but she comes back and then she celebrates her little milestones.
Wow.
So at some point yesterday, she came in smiling and we were both like, what's going on? You're being mischievous. She said, Mommy, I'm ready. And this is what we want people, the children. You've been talking a lot about the children's scores in the BC. We've all looked at the fact that we're not preparing our children for the future. So they're not work ready, they're not future prepared. But if a child can learn to learn, know their strengths, know when to ask for help, know who to go to even for the help, it's important, because then 65% of children today will grow up or come to a world where most of the work we're doing today will not exist. So they need to find a new solution to their own work. They need to create. How do they create if they haven't been taught to do so? So it won't just happen. We need to be deliberate about it. This is what the Be Future Ready campaign is all about. And it's simply to teach at least 2 million GHS and SHS students to learn, and to support their teachers as well, to know how to support their children to learn. So every person has a love language. That you have a learning style, you have an intelligence type. How do you now divorce all these and support yourself, leverage on your own strengths to learn and to do better?
Okay. Kelvin, what are the mechanics of this campaign? What does it entail?
So the campaign is in two different folds. We have a two-prong approach, where we go to schools to do a half-day interactive session to teach them how to learn.
Okay.
So people are struggling with their studies. They are anxious. They don't know what to learn first or at what time to learn what subjects. So we have tools in place to teach you how to prioritize, how to set subject goals. So you have academic goals, but you break it into subject. And even in subject, you break it into topics. So we teach people to be able to align all these things so that you don't have the whole thing jumbled up in your head. You are able to, like she said, divorce these things and look at it one by one. So we go to schools to do half-day sessions.
Okay.
And then we also sign them up onto our e-learning platform, www.myleadershipfarm.com, where they can also access other courses for free when we are not in the schools.
Okay.
So this is...
So you have an e-learning platform as well.
Yes, exactly.
So there's in-person help with learning to learn.
Yes.
And there's an e-learning platform,
yes.
which how do you get involved? So as a teacher, as a school, as an individual, how do I get involved?
Okay. You want to go?
No, you start, then you come here.
So as a school, we partner with the schools to have, first of all, the half-day sessions with them. Sometimes you can go for just 2 hours or 3 hours, depending on how much time the school gives us.
With the teachers.
Yeah, exactly. We are able to go and handle both the teachers and the students at the same time.
Wonderful.
So we teach the teachers how to teach to your understanding of the students.
All right.
And then we also teach the students how to prepare for the teachers' lessons.
Okay.
So this is what we do in the schools. Then when we leave, we tell you that there's still the opportunity to access our courses without we having to be there. So at your own learning ability, at your own learning pace, at your own convenience, you can go back to our website and then access all the other courses that we didn't teach you in the classroom to still prepare you for your academics.
So that's the myleadershipfarm.com.
Exactly.
I see. Letitia, so you have some very interesting numbers here. You want to support 2 million GHS and SHS students with active and effective learning skills. You want to enable 5,000 plus. Where are you getting these numbers from?
All right. So first and foremost, you know that Ghana today, the youth are the majority of Ghanaians today. They cover over 50% of our population. And most of them are currently in that age bracket. And that's where they have most of their hormonal transitional challenges. So most of them struggle in this and at this phase. So that's what we're doing. We've done this for over 9 years. So we've gathered a lot of data and understand the psyche of a young person. And based on where the country is going, we understand not just a country, but you look at the World Economic Forum statistics of what we need, the skills we need. And this is what we need at the moment. So if we can do 2 million direct young people, and then they will in turn support other people indirectly. So we're doing this in the two-prong approach. Now we have some help and we need more help. So that's why we're here for this interview in particular. So for example, in the last, since we launched, we've already trained over 5,000 children.
Okay.
And we've done this in schools in Kwabenya, Front Plains, Nima Cluster, Tema, and we're actually going to Kumasi this week.
Wow.
With Coca-Cola's help.
Nice.
And then actually AMSA also supports all they're giving us a vehicle actually to Kumasi, and then they fuel most of our vehicles. So those are the kinds of helps we need. For the platform, for example, we're looking at people like the MTNs, the Vodafones, could use zero rate the site so the children can learn for free.
All right.
Because people need to learn. So it's not enough that they're being taught in the classroom, but we need these complementary skills to support them as well, so that they come out, they're better, they can basically solve problems, their own problems and the general problems. So how do we do that? We're also looking at things like whatever you can support with. We're running a whole campaign on Chango app, for example. And then we have a Momo number that people can send money to as well.
So this is to the general public?
Yes, so this is to the general public.
So let me understand this. There's the platform that you go to schools and engage face-to-face. There's the My Leadership Farm website where you go. It's a learning platform where you can be taught how to learn.
Yes.
Essentially, as a student or as a teacher, and that type of thing. Then there's the public campaign where people are contributing money.
Yes.
Right, through a Momo and a Chango system. And what's that money going to do? You're going to subsidize the teaching of students, or what's it going to do?
Yes, because for example, it costs a lot of money. We say we're going to every region in Ghana is what we look to do. We're purpose to do. That costs a lot of money. So Leader Free cannot do it all by itself. Star Ghana Foundation has been great. They supported us to produce all the courses to place on the My Leadership Farm platform. You have schools where they may have electricity, but they don't have computers, they don't have projectors. But it would be good for schools to, for example, take a week off during their co-curricular activities, learn a course, discuss it, have some reflective questions, and help the students to begin to imbibe some of these learning.
What level of school are we talking about? Primary, JHS, SHS?
So our focus is basically for the JHS and SHS students.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we are.
So how do you get in touch? If I'm listening and I want to contribute to the fundraising for this, can you give me an address or a phone number?
Sure.
You have the number?
Yes, I have. So we have two different systems. You can use the Chango, which is www.chango.com, and then you can search for Lead Africa over there to donate to our campaign.
Lead Africa,
yes,
which is
Lead
one
Africa,
word.
one
Okay.
word, to donate to our campaign. And then you can also donate via Momo. So we have 0549 274 728. I'll take it again.
Yeah.
0549 274 728. So these are the two systems we have.
And this is any amount?
Any amount you cannot.
Any amount whatsoever.
To help to train these students and teachers to get them use your system quite effectively. So you can go to chango.com, that's CHANGO, or call or use Momo number 054 927 4728. Wonderful. We've been speaking to Letitia Ohiniefa and Kelvin Edem Adevu. Letitia is a co-founder of Leader Freak, and Kelvin is a project officer for this campaign, the Learning to Learn campaign. The Learning to Learn campaign, which is seeking to support over 2 million students with active and effective learning skills to enable over 5,000 teachers across the country to use modern and effective teaching and learning materials and techniques, and also raising money to subsidize the training of teachers and students. Thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much.
This is not the last time you will hear of me. Talking about learning, Benchmark's Finance and Accounting for Non-Financial Executives program is designed to equip you with an in-depth understanding of key aspects of finance and accounting, and appreciation of how your actions affect your organization's financial results and broaden corporate strategic goals. So, for example, you learn how to analyze and create income statements, statement of financial position and cash flow statements, select the most profitable projects or activities, produce a budget to achieve stated financial goals, etc. We also have case study and project-related exercises to give you the opportunity to apply proven tools and techniques gained from this course. Now, this program is targeting business leaders, entrepreneurs, executives, directors, managers from all functions who do not even have a formal financial background and who are now facing greater financial and business responsibility. Workshop starts on Monday the 27th to Wednesday the 29th of March, and it's also available on weekends. That's Saturday the 25th. Now, to register for this Finance and Accounting for Non-Financial Executive program, call or WhatsApp 024 9944 442. That's 024 9944 or simply go to benchmarkghana.com. 12 minutes past 9, Citi Breakfast Show. The Ghana Institute of Management and Public Administration, GIMPA for short. Their Law Conference 2023 is coming. And the theme this year is the 1992 Constitution of Ghana at 30, taking stock, assessing progress, and reflecting on our future. I have two of their key functionaries, George Asare-Free, lecturer at GIMPA Law, Dr. Kweku Ajiman Budu, Dean, GIMPA Law, to talk about the GIMPA Law Conference. Gentlemen, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to have you. How are you doing?
You're doing well.
So I said your conference is happening giddy, but you don't sound giddy. You sound very relaxed. I'm rather hyping the thing. You're taking the whole thing very cool, you know? I mean, is this tell me, like GIMPA Law, is this something you do every year? Or it's like once every while?
All right, so the GIMPA Law Conferences started, and good morning to you and good morning to your listeners.
Morning.
The GIMPA Law Conferences series initially started as a biennial conference in 2016. So every 2 years we were doing that. But from this year, we decided to do it an annual conference. And this year being the 30 years or the 30th anniversary of the coming into being of the 1992 Constitution, it just made sense to have such a conference, such a high-profile conference, to discuss issues regarding the operationalization of our 1992 Constitution. So,
wow. So 30 years in the Constitution's life, it depends on who you ask. It seems like a long time, or for some, it's a very short time. Where are you coming from in this? Are you saying 30 years is just a nice round number? Is it like 30 years is the longest republic we've had? So what are your own thoughts on why this is an important time to take stock and assess our Constitution?
We are of the view that 30 years is such a long period of time to take a holistic analysis of the Constitution in all facets of it, whether economic issues, human rights issues, natural resources issues, governance, almost everything about the Constitution, to assess the current state of it, to compare with how it was or where we came from, and to make certain recommendations for us to, if possible, to...
Is it review, revisit, revise?
I didn't want to use that word.
There are different things.
I didn't want to use.
Some say rewrite, some say review, some say
strengthen, to make it a better document.
Yeah. So you want to look at the state of play. What are some of the topics you hope to discuss during the conference?
So, flowing from the theme of the conference itself, we're going to talk about everything from 30 years of multi-party democracy in Ghana, the economy and financial management, like George said, natural resources, human rights, women rights, and the rights of persons with disabilities. So it's a whole cocktail of topics that relate to the Constitution. Constitutional law, but not raw constitutional law, but constitutional law as it affects other aspects of our national life.
So is this like seminar type things? Is it like academic papers? Is it like some plan? Like what kind of conference is it?
Okay, it's a mixture. So we have the opening ceremony tomorrow, which the keynote speaker will be His Excellency the President of Ghana. Then after that, there will be various panel discussions on the various topical issues that we have on the program. Then on Wednesday, we will have the Speaker of Parliament, who will also be the keynote speaker on the topic for the day, and various papers represented and a panel discussions.
Wow, so it's a lot of things.
That's
so the whole day?
Yes.
So basically, morning, the president comes to open, there are discussions, panels, then the next day, the speaker as well. So it's like 2 full days of deliberation.
Thursday.
There's also Thursday.
Yes.
Who's coming on Thursday?
Chief Justice.
Oh, wow. So executive, legislature, judiciary. Amazing. So it seems as if the focus for each day will be on one aspect of the arm of government. I see. So who's invited? Who can attend?
It's open to the public generally. Anyone who is interested in our constitution. And in the past few years and even the past few months and weeks, there have been discussions on the constitution. Like you rightly pointed out, people are of different views as to what to do with the constitution, whether to amend certain provisions or what to do with it, whether to... There was recently a conversation about having a whole new constitution on its own. So the general public is invited. You can stop by GIMPA.
This is your main conference room.
At the GB Auditorium. At the opening ceremony will be at the GB Auditorium, the main auditorium at the
Academic Registry.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the rest of the panels, most of the panels will be held at the Faculty of Law because it's a GIMPA Faculty of Law event.
So if I'm a law student from a different university,
you're free to come.
If we're a law professor, student, journalist,
practicing lawyer, journalist, civil society.
Anyone.
Wonderful.
If you look at the speakers that we have for the various panel discussions, they range from lawyers.
You have everything. You have the president. You have the head of the executive, head of the judiciary.
No,
head
we're
of the
talking about
legislature.
even the panel discussions itself.
Can you give me some names?
So CDD H. Kwesi Prempeh is built to be on the panel. We have people coming from outside Ghana even, and we have lecturers, professors, lawyers, other professionals.
There's a question for you.
Yeah.
Good morning, Bernard. Please ask your distinguished guest from GIMPA what happened to the Fiajo Constitutional Review. We spent a lot of money on it. Have a blessed day.
But that one there says not us. We can answer that question.
So would you
it's part of the...
Would it be tabled for
Yes, it's one of the panels. If you look at... Yeah, there's a panel on constitutional review and amendment of the 1992 Constitution, which is on the second day, I believe.
So
towards the end of the second
it will
day.
have some time.
Yes, so there will be discussion on that, what we've done with that, why it is where it is, and what's the position, what the future is on that. So he should come, or she should come. And
Thank you, Dr. Kweku Ajimambudu.
Yes.
Is the Dean of GIMPA Law, and George Asarefri is the lecturer GIMPA Law. It's open to the public. It's tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday. So 3 days. GIMPA, the main hall. Just dress nicely and go. Speak good English. That's all I'll say. Gentlemen, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you for
always a
hosting
pleasure.
us. Thank you.
More stuff coming up on the show later in the morning. Effective. Sorry, did I say effective living? What are we doing, sir? Heritage Month. Too many things. Now, so I have invited. I'm not sure whether it's against his will or according. So on this is what happened on last week. Saturday when they were leaving for the Heritage Caravan, I met friends eating kenke at City TV as they were about to. Oh, let your friend come in. As they were about to go to on the caravan. And then Dr. Osafo said, "Can you meet this guy? Dr. Roxy, he's my brother-in-law, something. He's a doctor from the US, and they come to Ghana every year to do medical mission, and I've convinced him to join the Heritage Caravan." So I told Dr. William Ebo Roxon that, "Look, Doc, come on air before you go." He says, "Look, I'm traveling." He said, "You come and let's talk." So, Doc, it's good to see you. Welcome to the show.
Same here. Good morning.
Wow.
Thanks for having me.
So first and foremost, welcome back to Ghana. I hear you come every year.
Yes.
You live in US.
Yes.
You live in the US. How long have you been in the US?
How long?
Since secondary school.
Yeah, since after secondary school, yes.
God.
Yeah, so you're talking about almost 40 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And how often do you come back to Ghana?
Oh, I've been coming like at least 2 or 3 times a year.
That's great. That's great. So how did you get on Heritage Caravan? Let's deal with that first.
Well, first, Dr. Safo actually convinced my wife that it was great. He's been on that, I think, 2 times already.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks ago was my birthday. So my wife actually surprised me by getting me the ticket to go on the caravan.
Mm-hmm.
I almost didn't want to do it because I really had to go back and see my patients. But, you know, it was well worth it. It was so much fun.
What were you expecting before the caravan? And tell me about your experience.
Experience is unimaginable. I mean, I had no idea how how nice it was going to be. I thought it was just going to be sitting on a bus, bored, and visiting some interesting spots of Ghana. But it was so much fun on the bus itself. Actually, I was on bus too, so bus too was fun. And meeting a lot of people.
But yourself, I know you went to secondary school in the Central Region.
Yeah.
And you are from, is it Western or Central Region?
I went to Swesco.
Good. And which region are you from?
I'm from Central. I'm from Anlo.
Prior to this, had you traveled around the country in this level of?
No. Prior to this, just been to Kumasi, Anlo, Cape Coast, Takoradi.
So the regular places
Regular places, but never been to...
Wow.
So
never gone beyond Sunyai, up north?
Tamale?
Well,
I did go to Tamale last year just to scout out the place for our next mission. So it was 1 day trip. We just went to Tamale Teaching Hospital and then came right back. So I didn't really get to see Tamale.
So for this trip, you started in Accra. You went to the Volta region.
Yes.
This was probably your first time.
Yes.
In that manner, how was Amejope for you?
It was great. I mean, going down I think we walked about 259 steps down and up, and went to the waterfall. I didn't do the canopy because I've already done it in Kakum, so I didn't really feel the need to do that.
Once is enough.
Once was enough. Yeah, that's right.
Wow. And then you went off to Bonyure.
Yes.
How was the Kente thing?
Oh, beautiful.
Awesome.
Beautiful. Yeah. I bought a few stuff for my staff.
People.
For my staff.
And then the long drive from Bonyure to Bonga. That must have been crazy.
It was rough. But you know what?
It was rough.
It was rough because it was really long trip, but the folks on the bus made it even more fun. So I wouldn't complain. It was just great.
The first time I did the Caravan, I was filled with both a sense of it was mixed feelings in the sense that wow, Ghana's beautiful, but also why all this waste? Like you see just bush, right? I couldn't help but see like you're driving for 10 hours and you don't see major plantations. You don't see people growing food. You just see bush.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know whether you got that sense.
Well, I got that sense, and also my major concern is having like restrooms on the way to along the highways. There isn't any. I mean, if people had to use the bathroom, they had to do the free range thing, which
terrible.
Is. Nah, if we can get that done as a country, that'd be great. I mean, people would definitely do this journey over and over again.
Yeah. How was the North like for you? Upper East?
It was good. Yeah. It was good. I mean, the Crocodile Pond at Paga was great. Yeah. We were able to cross over to Burkina. Yeah. Mole was nice. There's more that can be done.
Yeah.
More can be done. Clean up the place, put some facilities.
Make it more attractive.
More attractive. And, we should try to make some money out of that. Yeah. You just can't walk into the park and leave by paying nothing. People should come in and be able to purchase something as a memorabilia. You know how the mind works. You go in, you see something, even if it's $2, this 2 cedis and sell it to you for 5 cedis, your impulse will make you buy it. But
when I was in the US, everything has a museum. Every living thing has a museum named after it.
Exactly.
And you will spend some money.
Especially if you've been to Disney.
God.
Yeah, you just come back broke. Yeah. That's how it should be.
So you feel like there's a lot more we can do to use tourism to really bring development, aside from just getting people to just go see the place.
Exactly. Exactly.
I got that sense.
And also, you can imagine those working there, you provide employment to the natives over there.
Did you meet any nice people on the bus? Any new friends?
Yes. Yes, a whole lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You didn't keep to yourself?
No. I'm kind of shy, but the trip kind of...
opened you up a bit.
Opened me up a lot more.
Yeah. Let's talk about your organization.
Yes.
What's it called? What do you do? Because I know you work as a doctor in the US.
Yes. I'm a general cosmetic dentist.
A general cosmetic dentist?
General and cosmetic dentist.
What does that mean?
I do just dentistry, do everything in the scope of dentistry.
Can you whiten my teeth?
Yes. Can whiten your teeth, straighten your teeth, do veneers.
Okay.
Can place implants.
All right. Nice.
Yeah.
And you've been, so you work in New Jersey?
I work in New Jersey, yeah.
And you've been there for over 30 years?
I've been in Jersey for, when I went to the United States I was in New York for like 3 months. Then we moved to New Jersey, and I've been there since.
Wow. Meanwhile, when apart from what you do officially in New Jersey, every year you do the Ghana Medical Relief Mission.
Well, that started about 5 years ago.
Okay.
Prior to that, I joined one group from South Carolina. We went to somewhere in Mankasim. That's really what enticed me to do this Ghana Medical Relief thing. And my co-founder, or actually I would say he's the founder, Dr. Usu, he also did the mission to Haiti during the hurricane.
Ooh.
And so the two of us, it was pretty much around the same time. So we decided, listen, we should start going to Ghana and provide care to our own people.
Wow.
So it's basically free healthcare. We go to areas that are deprived, and that's our goal.
So I understand you bring a number of doctors every year. How many do you bring?
Doctors, nurses, and non-healthcare providers also are able to come.
Up to about how many? 50?
Yeah, last year was about 50. And this year on the platform, I see it there's more interest. It looks like we might even get about 60 from US.
Where do you get these people from?
Word of mouth.
So just get volunteers?
Volunteers, based on our previous experience, we come back, we ask for donations, because we do our own fundraising, a lot of fundraising back there. And then whatever we gain, we use that for our transportation, the meals, hotel, because we basically self-funded. So
and you go into a rural community
in Ghana.
How long do you spend there?
We spend like a week.
Doing what kind of things?
Well, usually, to break it down, we usually arrive here around on the Thursday of whichever week we choose. Basically, it's been consistent around middle of July. So we arrive Thursday. Friday, we do like a meet and greet. Last year, we actually added something new. We went to visit an orphanage where I did like a oral health instruction, gave us some goodies and all that. And then the following day, we went to Agogo on the bus. Then I think on a Sunday. And then Monday, we had like... basically, that's how it is, the same format. On the Monday,
so you announce your presence, and then people line up, and you start...
Chiefs, and then the local official, sometimes some politicians will...
So you basically just set up shop in a community, and then people start coming with their problems.
Prior to doing that, we actually there's usually someone on the ground that helps us, do the marketing, we send out posters, we inform the chiefs, people that are able to receive.
So you know what to kind of expect because of the recce on the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
And we also have on the ground volunteers from Ghana. We have a few doctors, nurses that also join us, and that really helps.
So when you get in on the Thursday, you do all the things you do. So you start the treatments on Monday.
Monday through Friday.
A whole week. What do you do? So do you do just basic healthcare? Do you do operations? What do you do?
Yeah, we do everything. We do first we have like a triage, meaning patients come in, we direct them to whatever they need. Some may come in for dental, some may come for OBGYN, urology, internal medicine, so
all of that.
Yeah, we do.
So you are specialists from all those areas.
Yes, and we do surgeries as well.
Gosh.
Yeah.
In 1 week.
In 1 week.
That's high level intensive.
It is.
Wow.
We start like maybe around 7 o'clock in the morning to like maybe 6 or 7 at
the whole day.
Yeah, whole day.
Roughly how many people would you get in a day?
Well, when I will use last year as an example. At the end of the week, we had treated 6,400, about 6,500 people. So it's an average of about 1,200 people a day.
This is serious.
Yeah, and then we also provided, because we realized that after treating patients, giving them medication, some people can't even afford the NHIS. So we decided to, this last year and the year before, to purchase insurance for those who really could not afford it.
Do you link them up to a relevant local hospital or something?
Yeah, whatever hospital, like
in the Agogo case.
Agogo we did, at ATBA we did the same thing.
So then the doctors know that these guys have been treated, so they can come with a referral and say, come next week or whatever.
Right, whatever we could do while we are there, we do that. Surgery, whatever. Amazing.
And you get these people from the US who volunteer?
Volunteer, pure
you don't
volunteers.
Pay them?
We don't pay them. So they take their vacation, and they also have to raise funds.
To buy their own ticket?
To buy their own tickets, and also to pay for what would our accommodation and meals and all that. So,
that's incredible.
And now the numbers keep getting larger and larger. So, to give you a sense, when we started the first mission, we saw about 2,400 patients. The second one went to about 3,000. The third one, about 30. Third one was 2021. It was right after COVID, so people were kind of scared, but we still were able to do. And then after that, we went to like, last year was like 6,000.
So it's getting bigger. I come back in July. I hear you are no student of Suez School.
Yes.
When did you finish the school?
83.
Gosh. Wow. You are old.
Yes.
1983.
Yeah.
Do you remember your time there?
Of course. How could anyone forget their time in secondary school?
Been in
1
US
to
for
5.
40 years.
Yeah, we're still connected to Ghana.
Wow.
Yeah.
So I'm sure some of the people who join you are from some old students as well.
Of course. Samens is from Suez School.
Oh, you met Samens? He's your junior?
He's my junior.
Are you older than Samens? You don't look it. Did you used to punish him?
No, he would tell you I was such a nice person.
What house were you in?
Same house, house 1.
You were in the same house with Samens?
Yeah.
Is that why you came on the Caravan?
No.
Did you know he was the guy behind the Caravan when you came?
Until
you met him on the bus. It's like, hey, I'm Samens.
No. We have mutual friends that one told me, Samens.
Wow.
I'm like, okay, yeah, I know him from school. He's like, well.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's now a global big man.
Yeah.
He's at the top of the whole Suez School food chain.
Yes.
Wow.
So,
will you guys support him?
Of course.
Get him to do the job?
Of course. Yeah.
Send some shout out before you go. Our time is up.
Well, shout out to all those Bus 2 and everybody from Heritage 2023. It was awesome. And, I would love to come back again next year.
With 50 doctors.
Yeah. So, the other reason I came is to see if we can get some support, because we don't usually have any support from Ghana, like financial.
So do you have some line or
any
something?
Sponsorship?
How do people get
Ghana.
in touch with you to support you?
Well, we can go to GhanaMedicalRelief.com.
GhanaMedicalRelief.com.
Yeah.
And there they will be told how to support.
Exactly.
Financially and otherwise.
Financially, yeah.
GhanaMedicalRelief.com.
Yes.
Your next program is in July. So they can sign up, they can volunteer, they can give money.
Exactly.
And where are you going this year?
We're going to Tamale Teaching Hospital.
We'll be there with you. Citi will join you.
Awesome.
Wonderful.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Dr. William Ebo-Roxon from Suezco to the world. Wonderful. From Suezco to New Jersey. Wow, it's good to see you.
Same here.
Congratulations. And you've conquered Ghana in 7 days.
Yes. Amazing trip.
We'll be back with Kweku Dakwankra. We're talking day 2. Spoke about the people of Keta and the Anglos. And now we're looking at Fort Prinzenstein. He'll give some details on that when we come back. Stay with us.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
Hisense is best known for all your electronic appliance needs, such as television, refrigerator, chest freezer, and air conditioners. But did you know we have laser television, gas cooker, washing machine, smartphones, sound systems, water dispenser, microwave, blender, rice cooker, kettle, iron, air fryer, just to mention a few. Hisense is the only electronic company in Ghana that gives you 5 years manufacturer defect warranty. Visit any of our showrooms in Accra, also in Tema, Kumasi, Takrade, Takwa, Mankesim, Obuasi, Sunyani, Techima, Tamale, Hohoi, Kofodia to purchase any Hisense product at the best price. Hisense means best quality, best durability, best for energy efficiency.
on the Anlo group, but we're sort of changing the discussion a bit. We're going to focus on Port Prinzenstein. Is one of the most prominent relics of colonialism you would find in the Eastern Corridor. A lot of our ports are from the central to the western region, some in the Greater Accra region. But Fort Prinzenstein has been considered, or is considered one of the iconic relics because of its place, not just in colonialism, but even in the formation of the whole Anlo state. Because obviously there were some challenges and some fightings within the period, and the Anlo, the fort became emblematic of some of those crossfires. So Kweku Dakrankra is my guest. He's going to be walking us through a history of Fort Prinzenstein. Kweku, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Very interesting. I visited Port Prinzenstein in 2021, and I was told that about 3/5 of the fort had gone into the sea. Yes. It was a massive post. And I think it's the largest of the ports on the eastern side. Is there a reason why there were more ports from the central to western region than there were closer to the Togo side? So if you take the Ghana coast, from Accra to Aflao, there aren't that many. But from Senya Breku to Takrady, there's a lot more. What's happening there?
Yeah, so it tells you about the availability of resources that originally started the trade between West Africa, particularly Gold Coast, and then Europe. So the availability of over 80 castles and forts across the coast of Ghana alone, with some of them eaten by the sea or others destroyed by the Europeans themselves during wars, where they used their man of war to bomb some of them. That is why it has remained with now over just 20 or so forts and castles in Ghana. But prior to that, there were over 80 forts and castles across the coast of, that is from 1600s all the way to by 1850s. There were these forts and castles all over. Because you talk about the areas you were mentioning, there were a lot of castles. It's availability of gold and also food crops in that area, as opposed to immediately after Accra going, where there were not so much farming activity, particularly getting to the Keta areas or the Anlo coast. What you see is that, as Tete Ashimedi of Afiedenyumba once said, that there is no land that produce everything by nature itself unless we deploy human beings, because that area didn't have abundant agricultural resources nor mineral resources. And that is why later on, that coast all the way from Keta River or the Water River hitting the sea all the way to Benin will be called the slave coast, because the major activity then became trading in human beings, because they didn't have abundant agricultural and mineral resources, as opposed to the coast all the way from Half Asinin all the way to Accra.
So if you look on the coast of Ghana, would you say Port Prinzenstein is the most prominent of all the forts east of Accra?
Yes, that's it. And because it is also so because of the major role of the Anlo elite, particularly those in Keta, and the role they played in the transatlantic slave trade, as well as their unique relationship with the Asante hinterland.
Oh, really?
Yeah, their unique relationship.
So before we get into that, who built the Fort Prinzenstein?
So it was built by the Danes. And this occurred because there was inter-ethnic rivalry between the Anlos and then the Ada people over the control of the Songo Lagoon. So one's ability to control salt at that time, there was a huge market to the hinterland where Ashanti and then other group within the hinterland areas were in need of salt. And that salt is seen to be of quality type, as opposed to going to Daboya in the north, which is the only place where the salt is also mined within the northern enclave into the Ashanti. But the one from the coast became the prestigious one. So there was a contestation for control over these resources. And that is what brought Ashantis, Akomu, and others to the area to fight for control over the white gold, which is the salt in the area.
I see. So this was the background to this. But when did the Danes come then? When did they build this fort?
So in this inter-ethnic war, while the British were supporting the other group from Ada and what have you to take, and so on, this war created opportunity because the Anglo themselves want to have control over their land. So during these wars, when it ended in the defeat of the Anglo, then the Danes came in from the 1840s. They came in 1784, and then they established the Fort Prinzenstein by the Danes at the time.
1784.
Yeah.
I see. Now, you said there was a bit of rivalry between the larger Anglo group and Keta as a town. That's interesting because I thought in your previous show you were saying that the Anglo group, when they were led by Wenya and Siri, they founded Keji, they founded Keta, they founded Anglo. So they are the same people. Mm-hmm. So how come there was rivalry between the larger Anglo group and Keta as a community?
That is an interesting question. So the Keta people, because of their closeness to the sea, took advantage of the transatlantic slave trade. Mm-hmm. And so they made a lot of money. And some of their elites like Lawson's, Gerardo de Lima, and others went to Togo side of what is today Togo. And they also traded there. So you see this group of families trading in two areas. And some of them will even get married to other Africans from other countries, like the Awunos, who were originally, the Williams, for example, who came from Sierra Leone and came and settled there and traded there and made a lot of money. Mm-hmm. And so their children will become the Awuno Williams. And some of them will come to Elmina and then also marry from there. And then they will become the Fanti Williams. So you see the linkage between the Fanti Awuno Williams and then the other Awuno Williams. So the same people, they are children in two polities.
Yes, that's interesting. I also noticed that there are some families like the Quist families who are both in the Anglo area and in Osu. And I noticed Christianborg was also built by the Danes.
Just
so there's possibly a relationship between the Danish influence in the Anglo part, the Keta side, and also the Osu side.
And you are right based on that, because the same Danes. So you find the late Justice Quest, his family members can be traced to Keta at the same time to Accra. So that was it. And you have the Rennes too, who also traded, Sierra Leoneans, who also traded in Keta and then in Central. So you have the Awuno Rennes, who are also there. So these trade activities created an exclusive group of elites who had power and money and influence, whose interests superseded the general Anglo territorial control. And as a result of this power, they were able to declare their own autonomy within the Anglo states. Okay. So during the wars, Anglo wars between the Ada and then the Anglo, they decided to stay neutral in those wars because they were interested in making their money rather than to go and engage in a war where their resources will go to waste. So when this thing occurred, the Danes realized that these are neutral people, business-minded. This is the place which is conducive for building a fort. And that is why Prinzenstein find its way in the Keta.
I'm told at some point, Keta was like the capital of the eastern part of the Gold Coast for a long time.
Yes.
I've seen maps where you see vibrant trade activity. When you go to Keta itself, you notice a lot of straight lines. You notice a lot. This is a proper town.
Yeah.
In the 19th century.
Yes. In fact, some of the business enterprises and others have been eaten by, if I use late Professor Huno's word, they eat our land. So you realize that some of them have been buried by the activities of the heavy waves. So that place became a hub, a business hub within the southern Ewe community. And what it created is that there were businessmen coming from the Ashanti hinterland, some from Elmina, who came to build businesses. So there were offices, people like businessmen from Infantile businessmen, even opening their offices.
Their Keta headquarters.
Yes, headquarters for the trade there, particularly trade in palm oil and other things that they were passing through the area. And so this created a capital as a hub, a commercial area within the Anglo community. But this did not only stop the fire in the Anlo group. One of the things is that even just 5 years after the building or establishment of the Fort Prinzenstein. An issue even occurred where one of the elders, Danjuma, also was killed because of issue that happened between the Kita people or the Anlo people and the officials in the fort, which led to a killing of this man. And this led to the Ewes or the Anlo people coming to besiege the place for the killing of one of their own. And what was the issue about? One of the chiefs, Jokoto Oso, was selling firewood to the Fort Prinzenstein. And then when this guy went to make skirmishes, one of them was arrested, and this Danjuma was killed. And Anlos took offense, and then they staged a rebellion. And it might shock you even today that the Anlo could even put up over 6,000 to 7,000 warriors to go and fight against the, the Danes. So their friendship was not just where you would say that there was a total power of the Danes over the Anlo. No.
There was some understanding between the two groups.
As you can see, most of other books talk about the fact that the Anlos are warrior people, always ready to engage when their right is being infringed upon. So we see this situation in the relationship between the Danish castle of Prinzenstein and their Anlo neighbors within that friendship.
Wonderful. We'll take a break. We're on the on-air series for Heritage Month, and today we're looking at the Fort Prinzenstein, but we're using that to really discuss. So we learned a few things that the Keta group, because of the trade and the commercial nature of the place, they felt they were a bit different from the original Anlo group, or sort of. They even had some fights. And of course, there was also fights between the Anlo and the Ada over the control of the Songo Lagoon, the role of the Danes in building Fort Prinzenstein, and how later on, when we come back, we'll talk about how it was taken over by the British, its role in the slave trade with towns like Atoko within that area, and then what has become of it now as economic activity moved westwards. So you've spoken about the Keta as a commercial hub. You've given us some interesting histories there. But I'm told that the Danes and the Anlo people had a fight. You said they mobilized 6,000 people to fight. But there was also a time where the Keta people fought against the Anlo people as well.
Yeah, because it is about issue of power, relations between the two of them. And one of them particularly, we're talking about an issue where a guy called Josh Mura, who was a slave trader, when the Danes banned slave trade by 1790s, but it will take effect later on. So when these Portuguese came to purchase human beings, and there was a confrontation that he even shot the governor of the Prinzenstein called Hesse. Okay, and this led to a fight. In this fight, those who were close to, who see themselves as supporters of the area, and the general Anlo people had to fight.
So Hesse is a Danish name?
It's a Danish name, yeah.
Sergeant J.C. Hesse, Commandant of Fort Prinzenstein. I see. So in this one, so the fight got escalated so much that even the late governor there, who was there called Schmidt, Harry Schmidt, had to even flee from the fort. Wow.
Okay, and move all the way to Fort Caravan, which is now James Fort or Usher Fort. I'm even mixing it up. One of the Usher Forts have to flee. But what even saved him was the French man of war was around there, and that shot and destroyed the Keta township as a result of this confrontation between them. So you see that the Anlos have, the Keta people have always sought to maintain their economic interest within the general ideals of the Anlo group. And this is bound to occur when there's a capitalist intentions of certain group of people to create their own autonomy. And these traders, some of them were chiefs. And there were other prominent ones, the list that we can talk about.
Yeah.
Some of the prominent
traders that were there. There's a date I find interesting. So Keta town was destroyed 23rd October 1847.
Yeah.
Now 1847 is interesting for me because that was also the year that Lawrence Wolff, who was a German missionary, left Osu to Peki to preach his first sermon and start what's now the EP Church. So I'm quite interested. It's interesting that when he started the EP Church in Peking in 1847, he didn't win a lot of souls. And he sort of set up a mission, and then he would set up 2 posts, one at Waya and the other at Keta. And I'm told that the first proper convert he got was from Keta.
Yeah.
So it's quite a coincidence that the fort was the Keta town was destroyed in 1847. Of course, it was a few years later after that Wolf will send a mission to Keta. But I thought that was interesting. The same 1847. So if you go to the AP Church, they will say the church was founded November 10, 1847. The same year that this violent confrontation occurred. 2 different things happening on the same date. Quite interesting as well. All right, now, so eventually the Danes will sell the fort.
Yeah, they will sell the fort because they were making losses across board. So they decided to sell all their properties, to the British at £10,000 all over. So they sold the Cape Coast one, they sold Christabel Castle, the one in Shama, and other properties that they own to the British.
So when I went to Fort Prinzenstein, the tour guide said to me that a lot of slaves from Togo, Benin, Nigeria were shipped. So basically, they were saying that Elmina Castle was the western corridor or the western exit, and then Fort Prinzenstein was the eastern exit. So a lot of slaves from the eastern side were brought to a town called Atoko, where they were resold and then sold through the fort. I don't know whether you have that.
So what it is that you have to look at the great routes, those coming from Ashanti to the Volta Enclave, and those coming from the Eastern Corridor, that is from the Dahomey or Your Kingdom. They also have some forts there. But Prinzenstein played a critical role because of its strategic position. So you find people coming from those slave traders from Abome, Kavi, and then all those areas in Gen areas, all coming to Keta to engage in trade, because some of the families at Keta were the same businessmen who were also operating at that place. So you find Gerardo de Lima in the works of Lawson's in those areas operating at the same time at Keta as they are operating in the Togo coast as well as the Benin coast at the time. So they were channeling the slave route all the way from there, this human cargo from there to Keta and so on. And then the Ashanti group, who also found Keta very strategic, because in their wars to take over the northern Eves or Evedomes, they found Sidame in Chiame areas at their war camp, where they were able to also get a lot of warriors as well as powerful medicine men and recruit them all the way into Ashanti to be part of the Somankwa division of the Asante-Hennes state bureaucracy. Okay, so you find the famous Ashanti war general Edubafo coming all the way to stay with Chief Tamakuru at Keta. And then he himself, if you look at his names and appellation, they call Edubafo Aunaba or Tamakuru or Shukru or Shikru, because he came there. So many even believe that the name Tamakuru evolved from Otamakuru, who is the one who is able to take towns by besiege and so on. So he came to stand there, but I find that the Otamakuru itself was an appellation for Edubafo and so on. So this shows you that historically there has been a very strong ties bond between the Asante Kingdom and then the Anlo group, because they were friends. They never fought. They were in line, joining together to go and fight the other Ewe group, which is Evedome. So when Togu Kojo of Peking was having all those problems, it was the joint union between the Anlo elites and then the Ashanti friends fighting and then moving, plundering into the Evedome and catching the people and selling them. So when they bring all these, the Ashanti traders come and settle at where the Domega Okudiato's area is now called the Atoko. That was where the market was. So you come there.
Unleashing the power of relevant radio. This is Citi 97.3.
Ajua, Grandma looked very peaceful. I was completely amazed when I saw her neatly presented. She looked just like she was sleeping.
You haven't seen anything yet, my brother. You should have seen the care and quality treatment they gave her at transitions. One man, one room, just like a 5-star hotel.
Wow.
And not only that, we had a dedicated person to guide the family through the funeral planning process.
Are you sure?
Of course. From picking her up to when we lowered Grandma down, everything was completely stress-free. They had all the needed funeral services, caskets, hearse, chapel, and so much more.
This one, dear, no family fights after all.
I'm so happy we made the right decision to use Transitions.
With Transitions, your loved one gets the best of care while the family enjoys a stress-free funeral planning process. Call us now on 0302 634 706. And no, did I tell you they're affordable? Transitions, the funeral people.
Enjoy the best of convenience and security on AT Money. Carry out all your mobile money related transactions on the go. Send or receive cash, pay bills, move cash in and out of your bank account from anywhere at any time. Airtel Tigo Money, your most secured and trusted mobile money service.
1xBet. Easy betting, easy winnings. 1xBet, the most reliable service to make deposits easily with high odds and numerous bonuses on the spot. Register now at 1xBet.com.gh. Use promo code BESTODDSGH to get 300% bonus up to 3,445 Ghana cedis on your first deposit. Easy to use, easy to have a chance to win. 1xBet, reliable bookmaker.
Gambling can be addictive. Bet responsibly. Not for person under 18 years. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission.
This is the Citi Breakfast Show, the city's biggest conversation.
People come and purchase, and then they send it for their domestic, as their domestic slaves, or send them into transatlantic slavery.
This is fascinating. So the Anglos and the Ashantis were actually very close, and they rather ganged up against the Vedome and the other northern Evers, which I find interesting, because originally in the story, there were 3 groups that split, so you'd have thought that the Anglos would defend their Vedome cousins.
So you see over the years...
Yes, you know, the last Obachucho, the Otunfo was the guest of honor of Tobe City.
Yes, because the Ashantis and the Anglo have known a long time that they are rather allies and not enemies, as political leaders have sort of created division to win a group of people, because politicians thrive on division. So the ability to whip ethnic animosity will push people to think in a particular direction so that they can always draw their support from. But the traditional authorities, they know these historic linkages between them, okay, that bonded them. So if for anything at all, it should be Northern Evedomens who should have problem not only with the Asantis, but with the Southern Anglo, who were in collusion against their interests historically.
So we are told in 1850. Sweet history. More of this coming up throughout the week on a series, Heritage Month, brought to you by NLA Development Through Games. I've been speaking to Kweku Dakwankra on the Fort Prinzenstein, and this is part 2 of our discussion about the Anglo. The full interview is available on YouTube, and you can get the link on CityTube. Nashika Caesar.
Ms. Avle.
I want to give you a new nickname.
Yeah.
Junior Shine Bobo. Because you see, the original Shine Bobo is Vivian. But it be like you have the trappings.
I do, huh?
You have the trappings of Shine Bobo-ship. So I want to declare you Junior Shine Bobo.
I'll take him like that.
You take him like that. City News at 10.
Coming up, Ghana Police Service to arraign 6 suspects arrested in connection with the murder of soldier at Ashaiman today. And also, Ghana Health Service begins vaccination